Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God,
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Ruckus Wrestling. I'm Josh Maber, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How we doing?
Oh boy, I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this all week. Talk to you about Wrestlemania because I haven't gotten a chance to really talk to you about it at all.
Yeah. We posted little things here and there of what happened.
We were chatting. Us and our friends were chatting on Discord during Wrestlemania and going nuts at certain things.
It delivered. Night one, maybe not as much as night two, but it was like, what was, which of the original trilogy Star Wars films were better than the other. That's kind of how it was, as far as that discussion. But a couple of things to get over. We typically go over a bunch of news stuff, but because WrestleMania basically took over the news and just everything going forward, with that. A couple of signings. Julia, which she was on. I know she was New Japan, but what all was she from?
She's primarily worked in Stardom for the last several years. She's a female Joshi wrestling promotion there in Japan. I think it's been associated with New Japan. I'm not sure. But she's been rumored to be going to WWE for like months, and it's like so. And then word came out during the weekend that she was going to be signing soon. She would just she was helping like the former head of Stardom start up in like a new wrestling promotion because he was also there. He was to the right of Regal there. And then, word got out that she was spotted that she was at in Philly for WrestleMania. And then there it's like during NXT Stand and Deliver, Joe's like, oh hey, look, by the way, look who's here, Julia. It's like she was sitting right next to Regal, and on the other side of Regal was former head of Stardom, who she's friends with. And she's got quite the reaction from the fans. Fans popped for her. She was kind of like she was
taken back a little bit.
She was taken back, like, oh wow.
They know who I am,
Yeah, so it's not like confirmed. I mean, there was a picture of her meeting with Triple H backstage. She was up in the skybox watching the show. She posted photos online. Said she had a great time, and Trailer was taken. She was like, she didn't realize she was on camera. She said apparently it's like she didn't realize that she was on camera. That's why she was like oh wait. When she heard the fans like popping for her being there. She was really surprised. So it's not 100% confirmed that she's signed. It's like, but the fact that they focused on her during Stand and Deliver, she was sitting next to William Regal of all people, and then we'll get more in a minute. But after the match was over and someone was celebrating winning the NXT Women's title, they panned right over to Julia right afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that they mentioned that she was there and focused on her a lot is, I think, it's clearly a sign that that she's going to be coming to NXT in the near future.
Yep. And also
checking out her stuff online because I haven't watched Stardom. I've been watching some of her stuff on YouTube. She's really damn good.
Yeah, for what I've seen, she's good. Now it's very small sample size, but she's really good there. And then plus one of the rankings, she was like number 2 or 3.
She was in the top 10 for PWI, I think, last year.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy there. And then also Jacob Fatu, one of the other bloodline, which we all kind of expected maybe might show up at WrestleMania because they announced his signing, but he didn't. So we haven't seen him yet, even in the NXTs or anything like that. So who knows when they're going to bring him in. From the highlights I see online, the dude's kind of got the build of Solo Sikoa, but super more athletic. So
yeah, I've heard people rave about how good Jacob Fatu is. He is a member of the extended bloodline family. He is Rikishi's nephew, so he's cousin to the Usos Solo, and of course by extension Roman and Rock. So, yeah, that's also not official. No one's been able to confirm from their WWE sources like SRS and them. But the word is that he was telling people close to him that he's going to WWE.
yeah. And then the last little nugget was introduced today that Hook is going to explore his options, aka probably seeing if he can go to WWE after his contract is up. So, which is kind of interesting since his dad's employed by AEW, but Hook's kind of on the up and up, on the up and coming, one of those guys.
Yeah.
Now his mic skills is non-existent, but that's kind of his character on top of it.
He's not a big speaker.
No, not a big speaker, but he has a good, he has a good look, and there's something I think that Triple H and Shawn Michaels could do something with, or he might re-sign with AEW or just go TNA. Maybe he just needs to. It's kind of like going away for college. Like he's basically still at his parents' house with Taz being there. So maybe he. Oh, okay, there you go. With that, what you're saying, Hook is a Cody guy. So I mean, I guess 75% of the roster at this point for Cody guys.
That's my buddy James. Hi James, thanks for watching. Yeah, he's that's why people are thinking Ricky Starks is going to jump because of how tight he is with Cody.
I am like 90% sure Ricky Starks is going to be at the WWE. So because it's Cody is the face. And if you want to make him happy, you get his boys.
He was up in the skybox with Dustin Rhodes at Wrestlemania.
He was marking out more than it was like he was super marking out. I saw that video.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he went nuts at the end of the main event. So
yeah, and then hey Tushka, yes, that's right. We are marking out. That basically was a weekend of marking out. So and then last little thing, your buddy James here. That I am kind of the same way. I'm not super excited with those because because you already know they're signed when they show. Oh, look who's here! Like I've never cared for that. If she hasn't signed, that's a weird way of like
exactly. That's why
like, we're on a visit or something like that. Like maybe that makes sense because I remember like the Keith Lees, and I mean they did that with a handful of wrestlers at like an NXT event, and they would be like, "Look who's here!" It's like you already know.
And they signed. Yeah, they did that with like Oscar and a lot of other people back in the day. We're like, oh look, who's here?
Yeah, I'm with you, James. I'm not a huge fan of that.
No.
And the fact that I guess they just did like, well, she hasn't signed yet, so maybe we'll show her. Like it's kind of like a college student, like a high recruit on a visit, and you're trying to win them over.
Yeah. Now her showing up at Stand and Deliver, that was after the reports were coming out that she was in town and that she was going to be signing with WWE soon. And then she shows up at Stand and Deliver, and she's prominently featured during the broadcast. It's like people are like, yeah.
Hey, Gerald.
Hello,
welcome all. Thank you all so much for joining up. And as we go through here, please feel free to leave a comment if you don't know what we're talking about, but you still want to hang out with us. We're happy to answer questions on what we're talking about.
I checked PWI's top females. She was in the top 10. She was ranked number 2 behind Rhea Ripley last year.
I knew she was up there really high.
Yeah.
It took me forever. It's like one of those like fantasy novel characters where their names are spelled odd and you have to wait for them to actually pronounce it to know how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I wasn't sure it was pronounced. It's like it's pronounced. It's Julia. It's just it's got an interesting spelling. That's all.
Yeah.
And also, fun fact, she's half Japanese, half Italian apparently. It's like she's originally born in London, so it's like she's got quite the heritage. She speaks pretty good English. I've seen clips, so that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, she's a very solid looking wrestler as well.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm excited to see her.
And let's see here. Before we move on to the last thing, we're not talking about Rashid Rice. This was the road to WrestleMania that we're kind of going, and he did drive on the road. If you really want to make a connection on it. And so, he did make a collision. There's a lot of collisions at WrestleMania. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
that's another podcast here on the Ruckus here on the Ruckus channel. So let's get into NXT Stand Deliver, the best pay-per-view NXT has ever produced.
Of course. All right, here's a recap of what happened at NXT's Stand and Deliver PL event before Wrestlemania Night 1 on Saturday. As happened, took place from the Wells Fargo Arena. We had Vic Joseph, Booker T, and Wade Barrett on commentary, which was nice to see Wade back. So on the kickoff show, we had Joe Gacy taking on Sean Spears. Surprisingly, Gacy picked up the win here. Let's give him maybe a little momentum. We'll see. And then we got to the main show proper. Opening match was the NXT Tag Team Championship match. The Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, defending against Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Really good match. Lots of great action and cooking. But eventually, Braun was able to spear Frazier for the pinfall. Keep the titles around the Wolf Dogs for now. Stay tuned to NXT on Tuesday. We had Metaphor going all over the place. It's some really good comedy bits as being like the host of the show. I really liked their interview stuff at the beginning. But then we went on to the North American title match, Triple Threat, as Obafemi defended against Josh Briggs and Dijak. This match kicked ass. Lots of great spots, amazing action. In the end, Obafemi chokeslam Dijak. He powerbombed him on top of Briggs and then pinned Briggs to retain the title. Excellent match. Then we had a 6-woman tag. JC Jane teamed up with Keanu James and Izzy Dane to take on Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kelani Jordan. Not a long match, pretty decent match. Dave Faces came out on top on this one, thanks to Kimura Lock applied onto Izzy Dane by Thea Hale for the tap-out victory. Ava announced that there's going to be a tournament to crown the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. I think this is a good idea. More on that later. Then we had the NXT Women's Championship. Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. Just before the match, Japanese wrestler from Stardom, Julia, was shown at ringside with William Regal to a big reaction. Word is that she's signed with WWE, is going to be in NXT very near future. So her being there definitely leads credence to that. So she got to watch this match. Good stuff from the ladies here. Roxanne working the arm throughout the entire match and capitalizing on the supposed injury. Lara did her best to fight off. Paxley attempted to get involved, but she got neutralized. And eventually, after another pop rocks into a crossface, Lara tried to fight out of it, but eventually she tapped out, giving Roxanne Perez the title. And this is second time, making her two-time NXT Women's Champion. And my buddy Josh went into the stratosphere in happiness, as we all are. Then we got the NXT title match. Ilya Dragunov defending against Tony D'Angelo, the D'Angelo family. D'Angelo family was at ringside. A decent match, not like mind-blowing. Mostly Ilya, but Tony put up a bit of a fight here and there. But a couple of times, Stacks and others wanted to intervene, but Tony wanted to try to win the match clean, and didn't go that way as he got finished out with after Torpedo Mask on H-Bomb. He finally went down to give Ilya the victory. And then we got to our main event, the highly anticipated grudge match between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Fans were pumped for this match. Huge reaction for Trick Williams. Super over. Really good match. Thought it'd be a little bit longer, but in the end, Trick came out on top, hit the Trick knee, take out Mello, get the big pinfall and the big victory over him. As far as Carmelo's future, well, we're going to talk about that later when we get to NXT Tuesday and also happenings on Raw. So, that's all that happened on NXT Stand and Deliver. Okay. All right, Josh had to step away for a second, so it's just me. He'll be right back. Let's give some general thoughts here. I thought Stand and Deliver was a pretty solid show. Nothing like mind-blowing compared to what we got eventually for the rest of WrestleMania weekend. But so there were some really damn good matches. The opening tag match I thought was excellent. I felt like the triple threat for the North American title between Obafemi, Dijak, and Josh Briggs was probably maybe the best match. That really exceeded expectations. I think Obafemi looks like a star. We'll go more. I'll save my thoughts on his title until Josh gets back because it's like he loves Roxanne Perez, so it's like I want to give him the floor first with his thoughts on the match. But I thought the women's title match though I thought was quite good. 6-woman tag was that was fine. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too bad. Ilya versus Tony D for the NXT title felt was good, not great. I was hoping maybe a little bit more from Tony D'Angelo, but I think he acquitted himself well in that spot. And of course, the main event was quite the highlight. Everyone was pumped for it. Trick Williams is a very over person, and he is got a bright future. How much longer he's going to stay in NXT, that's going to remain to be seen. Probably going to keep him there for a little bit longer to give him a little more seasoning. I don't think he's main roster ready yet. You never know. But him and Carmelo thought they had a great match, and it was very well done. Thought the match would go a little bit longer. I thought I'd give him at least like 20-something minutes, but ended up being just over 15 minutes. It's just not bad. So they were able to get some really good stuff in there and some really nice moments. And Trick getting the big win is a big thing for him. So, like I said, the Metaphor was supposed to be the host of the show, and they had some good comedy stuff. Them dressing up in the Cowboy Reserves, it's like we'll see what Josh has to say about that when he gets back. And the Julia thing was also pretty obvious that she's going to be coming there soon. They wouldn't have featured her that prominently and stuff, and as we were talking about earlier, if she wasn't going to become the WWE soon. Such kind of focus is definitely toward someone who's going to be joining the family pretty soon. So I thought it was very interesting. And let's see. I'll talk about the announcement of the Women's North American title. I think this is actually a good idea because when they eliminated the NXT women's titles, then they unified them with the main roster women's tag team titles. Definitely left a little bit of a void. I mean, it was tough to, do like a tag team division, even though NXT has a pretty strong group of women's talent down there. Not enough to have like a proper tag division. So I think adding a secondary title for the women is a good idea because that gives some of the other women a chance to shine and to pick things up. I think that it will work out pretty well. Very interested to see who's going to get crowned first. The women's North American title. There's going to be a tournament. We don't have a bracket yet. They didn't announce that on NXT Tuesday. So welcome back, Josh. Just
sorry about that. Thanks for
quick and dirty thoughts about what I thought of some of the matches there. Basically, I thought the show was good, pretty good. Not like blow your water, but very entertaining. I felt like the match of the Stand and Deliver was probably the North American triple threat. Those guys just beat the living crap out of each other. There's some really cool spots. And Dijak's one of the MVPs of NXT right now, and I want to see that man have a title around his waist really bad. And the fans really love him too, because the when it looked like he had it won, and that he hit Feast Your Eyes on Femi, and it looked like he was going to win, and then Briggs pulled the referee out of the ring. Fans were not happy about that.
No.
They shitted bullshit. It's like they were pulling for Dijak in this match. So which warmed my heart, even though I knew he was probably not going to win, because Oba Femi's a beast. They just put the title on him. They obviously see a lot of him, and he's living up. He's leveling up pretty quickly. He's looking like he's going to be like Braun Breaker style love a wrecking machine. It's exciting to see. So what are your thoughts? Well, you want to save the women's title match for last, or do you want to talk about that?
No. I mean, you basically see the triple threat, and I was like, I beg to differ. Obviously, the best match of the night was because Roxanne Perez won, right? That's what the match.
Well, it's a highlight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't care how they got there. It got to the right decision. Decisions were made, and it was the right one. I am officially. I put it on paper. I signed it. I sent the message to Sean, and let him know that I'm officially back to watching NXT now. Congratulations, you have my viewership back. So he has that. And yeah, it's still, some people are saying that they're still kind of trying to warm up to the Roxanne Perez. They think they're just kind of like doing a try hard heel gimmick. It's getting better on me. It should start off a little rough with that one promo, but everything, I mean, with when her on NXT and stuff like, or her on Raw after Mania, I thought that was fine. It looked fine to me, but I guess just because she's been a babyface her whole career, and now she's doing a heel run.
We'll go into more detail, but I liked her promo work in the opening of this week's episode of NXT, following up after Stand and Deliver. I thought it was
right.
Quite good, especially her shutting down the fans, because there were some fans trying to cheer her, and she did the proper hero move of saying, like, "No, screw you guys." It's like, I don't need your approval. It's like, where was your approval last year? It's like when I needed it. So
right.
that's the thing. It's like she knows that she don't. The fans should not be cheering her, and she did saying the right things to get the heat back on her, telling the fans to go screw themselves.
Yep. So, get the cheap heat, get the fans back on.
Yeah.
Was like, yeah, he said that to Toronto, just to kind of call back the Hollywood Rock.
No, we talked about it. It felt like this was building as much as they're high on Lyra Kira as they should be. She's really damn good. It was definitely looking the way that they built up Roxanne and with the heel turn and everything. It felt like that they were going to belt her, and that's exactly what happened. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for her. Gives her a chance to really refine her heel work skills before she goes to the main roster.
Right.
And she's going to be able to get to have some banger matches with people. And if she's still in NXT, she doesn't get drafted and is holding on title when Julie shows up. Give me that match.
Give me that. Yeah, for sure. Another couple things. I do think that triple threat was definitely the best, like, all around pound for pound match. The freaking Braun Breaker moving, he's going to really seriously hurt himself on the ropes if he keeps running them that hard.
he runs like a beast, man.
Yeah. When he moved the ring, I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I was surprised they retained, even though they didn't.
Yeah. No, I was kind of surprised that. And so then, when they announced a rematch on next Tuesday, I was like, and my suspicions were correct. We'll go into more of that when we get to that.
Trick and Carmelo, I was expecting a little more.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a little longer. I thought it was still good, but I felt if they given it maybe like 5 more minutes, it could have hit like above 4-star level. Yeah. It's like it felt like they were just starting to cook when it ended. So it was like I was like they could have given him maybe a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
When I like Trick Williams' entrance more than the match itself, we've got a little bit to work on.
Yeah,
because that entrance was really cool, the way they shot it and everything.
Although maybe it's because Trick and Mel are not done, as we found out on NXT. It's like they got another match coming up next week.
Got a little bit done, but yeah,
they're not done yet.
Pretty solid. Stand deliver.
Yeah.
Glad to see Joe Gacy was just a kayfabe injury and not a actual injury. I figured it was a kayfabe, but anytime the X goes up, I don't ever take that for granted.
He may have just gotten he's got his bell rung, and thankfully not a concussion, because the X was legit. They were worried that it's like he hit his head pretty hard, so it was like
right.
They were taking precautions. So glad he's okay. Interesting, they got the win over Spears. Spears just got back, so it's like it's very interesting where that's going to go. I think that feud has just begun. It's like so we'll see.
They're not going to bury Spears.
And what do you think of them giving the woman a mid-card title with a women's North American title?
Well, I mean, they have to, because Roxanne's never going to lose, so they have to. They have to come up with it. I told you that. That's kind of my thoughts. It's the North American You're Not Roxanne Championship. That's what it is. So they had to come up with. No, I mean, we've been saying for a while now that the NXT Women's division is super stacked, and they need something else.
That's exactly what I was saying. Well, you had to step out. It's like that. After they took away the tag team titles, they've got so many talented women that having a mid-card women's title makes perfect sense to give some other women a chance to shine outside being in the hunt for the women, the main women's title. So I think this is a good idea. It's going to be very interesting who's going to be in the tournament and who's eventually going to be the first champion. There's a lot of candidates. Outside of I don't know what's going to happen with Lyra. I think they're going to transition Lyra to a feud with Paxley after what happened this week. So she's not going to. I don't think she's going to get into another match with Roxanne anytime soon. I think that's going to keep her occupied for a bit. So
I've got a couple of names I'm thinking of. That's probably going to go. That's going to just feud with Lyra for a little bit. I mean, with Roxanne. Sorry, not Lyra. I think you're right with the first part. But I've got a couple of names to throw out there and see what you think when we get to NXT.
Yeah, go ahead, because it depends on who they have Roxanne's first major feud as heel champion be. So there's a couple of candidates I could think of right off the top of my head that I could slot in. I could see them giving be the first women's North American champ.
I think I've got a couple of theories on who to make the North. I think Sol Rocco would be a North American contender right now.
Oh yeah, that was one of the ones.
That was either that or feud her with Roxanne just to see what she's got.
Yeah,
because the end is there.
They could do either one because they're very high on her. And it's like I would not be surprised if they threw her. It's like threw her in the deep end with Roxanne and see if she can swim proper.
Yeah, that's who my thing would be because she's featured a lot now.
Yeah, Fallon Henley and both Fallon Henley and Thea Hale have been heavily featured and pushed
up and down with Fallon though. That's the thing.
That's why I think maybe unless they're going to slot her against Roxanne, I think she's one of the best candidates to give the women's North American title to. Give her that next push that they feel like they've been wanting to do, but they haven't really pulled the trigger completely yet with her. Because she's definitely she's good. It's just better to see how good she can be, and fans love Thea Hale. Thea Hale's she's good in the ring, and it's like her character work is fun to watch, man.
Somebody else is agreeing with you on Thea Hale. So
yeah, well, Gift's a fan of Thea, so it's like not surprising. It's like, but yeah, I'm a fan of Thea too, so I think she's also a good candidate to win the.
Yeah, I can see where some people would think that.
Yeah, no, that you can make a good argument that Stand and Deliver is actually better than Night 1 of WrestleMania it's like overall. It is like, and we'll go over that because when we get to Night 1 here, because there's some interesting things that happened.
Yeah. Sorry, we're gonna do it old school with the Night 2 because the Night 2 was so impactful that we made a file too big. So the recording was.
Apologies, people. My recap was way too long for it to upload.
Yeah, so we're doing it like the old school way with that. But we do have Night 1. So anything with Stand and Deliver before we move on to Night 1?
No. Stand and Deliver was really good. A good way to just kick off Mania weekend. Good stuff from NXT. Very new. We got some. The only one new champion was crowned. With Roxanne. And we'll get more of that later. So. But still, really good show from NXT, and also it made me seeing Wade Barrett and him working with Vic and Booker made me miss him on NXT more. Even though I'm glad he's getting shine on the big time with Corey on SmackDown, I kind of prefer Vic and Wade over Vic and Booker. Nothing against Booker T. Sorry.
We have our preferences.
Yeah. Anyway,
his best work was ever when he was black. I'm black, or what was it, like Black Snow or whatever? What that?
Yeah.
It was TNA thing. That was still hilarious. All right, let's do night one.
Let's get to Wrestlemania.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's the recap of the events of WWE's WrestleMania 40 Night 1. Coming to you from Lincoln Financial Field, home of the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Triple H opened up night 1. Say how this is a new era, and that was highly emphasized, making about that. This is the Triple H era. He's in charge, and the Vince McMahon time is over with. So we had Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Pat McAfee on commentary for both nights, with a couple guests here and there, which we'll get to later. So we kicked off night 1. Opening match was the highly anticipated WWE Women's World Championship match, as Rhea Ripley defended against the Man Becky Lynch. Really good match between these two wonderful ladies that I'm very fond of. And Becky put up a hell of a fight to Rhea, but in the end, Rhea emerged victorious. She riptied Becky onto the top turnbuckle, and then riptied her again to pick up the victory and remain Women's World Champion. Then we got to the Giant 6-pack tag team ladder match. Both sets of titles were split and separated, hanging from the rafters, meaning that they were finally splitting the Undisputed titles back to the Raw and SmackDown, and that one team is going to win one set of belts. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, 8-Town Down Under, were able to snag the SmackDown tag team titles, winning those championships. As for the Raw tag team titles, they ended up in the hands of Awesome Truth, The Miz, and R-Truth. Truth taking out Damian Priest, climbed up the ladder, and retrieved the tag titles for him and Miz. Fans popped huge for that. Big reaction. So congrats to Truth getting a big WrestleMania moment after all of these years. Then we had Rey Mysterio teaming up with Andrade and the rest of LW at ringside, taking on Santos Escobar, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, backed up by Legado del Fantasma. Lots of high-flying action, as you would expect. In the end, 2 masked men emerged out of the crowd to attack Dom and assist Rey and Andrade. Rey pinned Santos to pick up the victory, and the 2 masked men unmasked to reveal themselves to be Philadelphia Eagles linesmen Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson, to a big pop. Then we had the brother versus brother match. Jey Uso taking on his brother Jimmy Uso in a one-on-one match, first time ever. Sadly, this was kind of a disappointing match, one of the weaker matches of the show. Not a long match either, just barely 11 minutes. Jay picking up the victory over Jimmy. Then we had a 6-woman tag. Jade Cargill making her WrestleMania debut, teaming with Bianca Belair and Naomi to take on Damage Control in the form of Kairi Sane, Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors, the women's tag team champions, and Dakota Kai. The babyfaces picked up the victory, with Jade taking out Dakota with Jaded. Just under 10-minute match. So, hell of a debut for Cargill. Then we got what I think was definitely probably the match of the night, the Intercontinental Championship match with Gunther coming in at 666 days as Intercontinental Champion, the new record, defending against the Ultimate Underdog, Sami Zayn. Amazing match, and shockingly to many people's surprise, including myself, Sami Zayn defeated Gunther to become a 4-time Intercontinental Champion and ending Gunther's historic Intercontinental Championship reign just short of 2 years. Sami hit him with the Brave Buster on the top rope and then 2 haluva kicks to finally put the ring general down. And he got to celebrate with his wife and his son at ringside in a really awesome moment. And then we got to the highly anticipated Night 1 main event. the Bloodline, The Rock and Roman Reigns, with Paul Heyman in their corner, taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins in a tag team match, with the stakes that if the babyfaces win, Bloodline would be banged from Cody and Roman's title match on night 2. But if the Bloodline won, then the match would be held under Bloodline rules, which would mean anything goes. This match was really long, almost 45 minutes. It started a little slow, but then got really hot. Some really great stuff, really cool moments. In the end, no surprise, the Bloodline emerged victorious. The Rock rocked bottom Cody and then hit him with the People's Elbow, pinned him to give the Bloodline the victory. As the show went off the air with Cody and Roman Seth very dejected that they weren't able to get this victory. Michael Cole saying that Cody is completely screwed going into night 2. Really good cliffhanger to close out night 1 of WrestleMania as we go into night 2.
It was a little underwhelming for the hype that was going into night 1.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, kind of looking back at it, it wasn't like it was a big nothing burger.
No. There were some good matches like Gunther, Sammy.
Oh, that was the best match of the night.
Absolutely. They killed it. Rhea and Becky was great. As we all
especially all things considered, with Rhea saying she had a panic attack right before she went out, and Becky was sick.
Yeah, and on top of that, Becky had been suffering from strep throat all week and went into the match with 102-degree fever on top of that, and still wrestled her ass off. So, props to both of them for overcoming some things that could have gotten in the way of this match. Yeah, they went out and killed it. And props, this is why I love Becky Lynch, man. It's like props to her for gutting it out to put Rhea over like that. And it's like, and this was not a squash; it was a fight. It's like and it took Rhea doing like 2 riptides to put Becky down. So it's like, that was really good. And the ladder match ended up being quite good. Our boys DIY didn't get one of the tag titles as we were hoping, but it's okay. SummerSlam's in Cleveland. That's where I think DIY is going to get their redemption.
With a tag team match, yeah, it took a little bit to get going, but once they got going, it was really good. A couple of things is they really didn't say that they were going to split them up. So when Grayson Waller and Austin Theory won, the whole crowd was like,
it's like when they said that the match would only. See, beforehand they said the only way the match was going. Both sets of titles were pulled down. And then when you saw that they were not together, that they were completely separate. So it's being like, that's when everyone's like, okay, yeah, they are splitting the titles up tonight. And that's exactly what happened.
Right. But I guess it left the door open that if you got both of them, then you could be, because you had a couple of times where the tag team one would go for each one.
It well, because when Grayson and Theory snagged the SmackDown titles, they were out of the match.
No, they didn't say they're out of the match. They just got put out of the match.
Yeah, wiped out, but they it's like they were done. It's like they were out. Because it was up to the rest of the teams to try to win the Raw titles. So right. It's like, they should have made that much more clear that to the fans that they were split, because there was some cues like, wait a minute. But very interesting choice for Grayson Theory. Obviously, they want to do something with those guys. So, I think the two of them work really well together as a heel team.
We called that a while ago.
Yeah, we did. So I think obviously this is that wanting them to. It's like, okay, we're gonna give you guys a ball. Let's see if you can run with it for a bit, because there's plenty of other great teams on SmackDown. I mean, New Catch Republic, Street Profits, Bandit. So I know some people.
I did like how Pretty Deadly did announce go through the teams, so they did at least get on WrestleMania.
That was nice that Pretty Deadly showed up and got involved in the match. Right. Of course they're on SmackDown too. So I know some people are concerned about splitting the titles, but I think there's enough good tag teams on both shows right now that it can handle. But I think they definitely should change the names and get rid of the show names on the titles. Make one the WWE Tag Team titles and one the World Tag Team titles.
And I think they're going to do that. I think
that's the way it used to be before they they show branded the titles. So it's like
now that we're in the Paul Levesque era, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they're gonna rebrand those titles.
and plus get some new titles because those sets of titles have been
Ugly.
around for a long time now. And they're kind of like
ugly. I've never cared for those. When were they were copper, I was just like, oh, these are ugly.
But
Ugh.
hey, Awesome Truth was one of the favorites to win at least one of the titles. So it was a great moment. Fans popped huge for Truth, getting his big moment.
He won twice.
He did. The tag spot where he did the hot tag.
The hot tag.
That was one of the best spots.
And then to pay homage to his childhood favorite wrestler,
John Cena.
He was 4 years old when John Cena came into the wrestling.
Yeah.
I just like that about Corey Graves or something.
I know. This is so good.
And then the spot that there was a thing where they showed a spot with the spot that Johnny Gargano did to Pete Dunne.
God, that was. Oh, and Ciampa with the air raid crashing poor Tyler Bate off the top of the ladder.
Yeah,
and it's like I was like, oh my God, he may have broken Tyler Bate in half, man. Jesus.
Right. So but that happened, and they there was a viral video of the comedian Drewski that was there behind Cole and them, and they showed that move that Johnny Gargano did to Pete Dunne, and it goes back to him. It's like, ah, damn, I thought it was supposed to be fake, and so I was like, aha, gotcha. So on there, but I mean, other than it just took a while to get going, and the stip was pretty. It was kind of confusing. So with that,
shout out to DIY dressing up as DX.
Oh yeah, that's right. And there was a nice little family photo of DIY's families. There was a nice little thing with that.
It was nice that Ciampa and Johnny got to even though they didn't win, they got to be on WrestleMania finally and got to shine.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, it's only a matter of time before they get those tag titles. I trust Triple H.
Yeah, and then I'll do what I just did today. I'll let you have the stage, and you just talk about how great DIY is.
Yeah,
those are your boys. The next match. Well, it was a match.
It was a match.
It didn't do anything other than showing Jason Kelsey there.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. They didn't give these guys enough time to really cook.
No,
and
did not.
So it was still a decent match. It just wasn't as great as it could have been. I think the spot of the match was when once again Joaquin Wilde getting launched into the air like a rocket off the ropes. That was
that spot's awesome. I love that spot.
He's awesome. So glad he got to have that moment. And of course, Jason Kelsey and Johnson showing up. That's obviously the pop the crowd, and everyone knows how big of a WWE fan Jason Kelsey is. So It's like he had to have been over the moon to be able to get to have a spot like that. It's like, so I'm not going to begrudge him that. So it's like he looked like he was having like the time of his life. When he unmasked, he was pumped, man.
It was a couple of things about Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey coming to the match. It was funny watching. Number one, Lane Johnson said he lost 15 pounds because he knew he had to take his shirt off, so he wanted to look a little bit better. And then number two, it was funny watching some of the videos of people marking out for Jason. They thought when they saw Jason Kelsey, like, oh, it's gonna be Travis, and I was like, no, that's Lane Johnson, because I just know football, and just like see all the casual wrestling, like all the wrestling fans who are not football fans, but they know who Jason Kelsey is because of Taylor Swift and all that stuff. Yeah, but they have no clue who Lane Johnson is. So when he took his mask off, they're like, who is that? That's not Travis Kelsey. So I thought that was pretty funny there. But it's like, hey Dom, you know how you had that really good match and you put your dad over? Tonight's the night. Nah, just kidding, dog. You ain't gonna beat your dad.
Just want to highlight this real quick. Yeah. Back to that. Yeah, he is a relay warper. It's amazing what R-Truth has accomplished in his career. He's a joy to watch. It's like he's special. So yeah, this match is okay. Then we got to, I think, the worst match, not only of the night, but probably of all WrestleMania. Unfortunately, was Jimmy versus Jey Uso. Wow, this was a big disappointment. It was nothing but like a super kick party. It was really, it's like, I don't know what, I I didn't look up who produced this match, but it's like I was like it was not laid out very well.
Sure as hell wasn't Shawn Michaels.
Nope.
You cannot talk. You can people who give crap to the Young Bucks. You can't do it anymore.
Nope.
This was bad.
This is not good. This was a big disappointment.
It didn't hurt Jay's momentum, thankfully.
No. He was going to win, and it's like, and he should have won, but the match was a stinker, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. It was not produced very well. It was just like super kick. And plus the crowd. I've got a theory.
Super kick. It's like
and I had a theory at first. I was like, oh, it's outdoor arena night one. Maybe it's Philadelphia. You would think. Obviously, it's not a whole Philly crowd. It is a WrestleMania crowd, so it's people from all over. But them being very quiet. But the thing is they were, as Triple H kind of alluded to, he's like, night one, people were freezing their ass off. Like, how can you cheer if you don't have something to cheer for?
Right. And that's the other thing that didn't help night one is that the crowd outside of certain matches and spots was not really red hot. And it was quite the difference on night two. Night two, it's like that night two, the crowd was popping
awesome
all night long.
Oh.
So big difference.
Shout out to the space heaters that they put above the ring. I don't know how much that affected, but that was I didn't. Someone pointed that out. I was like, that's a lot of space heaters.
It was pretty chill because I saw several watches, especially in the post comments, like Jade and some others saying like it was freaking freezing out there.
Yeah. So, but shout out
speaking
to them.
of Jade, next up was 6-woman tag. I thought it was good for what it was. I mean, it was short and sweet. It was what we thought. Bianca and Naomi did a lot of the work, and then Jade got the hot tag and got to just wreck house, and the fans enjoyed it. So, they're slowly working her in. It's like she's,
they're still protecting her at this point.
Yeah, no, they're giving her time to be able to really hone her skills. So it's like it is completely understandable. And fans are into her. It's like, and that entrance that the ladies got was pretty dope.
Yeah. And some people were saying that it was like I thought it was more kind of Mortal Kombat-esque, but then some people were saying it was X-Men based because she had like the Cyclops thing, and then Jade was like Storm,
like visor on. So I think it was more like a superhero kind of entrance,
right? Yeah, but I really like Naomi's hat. I think that Kung Lao.
Yeah, Naomi's hat was dope.
Yeah, and she had the Mania stuff on. But yeah, that was really cool. Someone was like, "I'm gonna tell my kids this was Destiny's Child."
They were definitely having fun out there. It's like the three of them. They're having a lot of fun working together. And once again, shout out to the awesomeness of Bianca Belair, because Jade said in the press conference after the show that Bianca was one of the first people that reached out to her when it was officially that she joined WWE, and has been a friend in helping her out. So that's why she's DST. So
yeah, and it's they're kind of the Spider-Man meme anyway. So
yeah,
of the type of wrestlers they are. But if she's an ounce of athleticism as Bianca, and because she has a strength, but if she's an ounce, is that also athletic? Because
if she continues to improve, man, the matches she could have with both Bianca and Rio down the line, good luck.
Because Bianca can go. I don't think she's up to the anyway. I think because I've seen Bianca have some weird clunkers, which is weird.
Yeah.
And I don't expect.
Bianca's really good, but I don't. She's not someone who can carry someone else really good. Mm-hmm. But if someone else is really good, then that helps elevate her. She's still really damn good. But it's like she's not not everyone can do that, and that's not a knock against her.
She's definitely top tier, and one of the best in the game for sure. Yeah. But I mean, you just look at what Charlotte can. You give it to Charlotte, you give it to Bayley, you give it to Becky, you give it to Rhea. At this point, they're gonna.
So many of the others talk about how great Bianca is, like Becky, Rhea, and so many others.
No, Bianca is right there. I think she's basically like a sliver behind them, just because I've seen her, especially that Alexa Bliss championship match that they did a while ago. I mean, like, where are we going?
Yeah, like Becky said, like Bianca and Charlotte are two of like her wrestling soulmates. She's like, if I could wrestle them for the rest of my career, I would. It's like that's high praise. It's like.
But I mean, Undertaker's had some really bad matches. So it's, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just I'm just nitpicking at this point because
Yeah.
I know Bianca could be better than anyone we've ever seen. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So surprising there.
So Intercontinental title match
Woo!
was the ace of the night. Jesus.
Has Gunther not put on a? When's the last time Gunther hasn't put on a 4-star match?
I don't know.
Or above.
I honestly don't remember. That's how good he is.
And he's kind of up there too, of just putting on like 3.
He's had so many banger matches during this title run. I mean, Sheamus at Classic Castle was off the effing charts, and then him and Sheamus did it again at Mania with Drew McIntyre last year, and that one was awesome. Bronson Reed, Chad Gable, so many people, and you know, Sammy's amazing. So they went out there and killed it, man. And the storytelling of this match was really good. The fact that he got to bust out the brain buster on the top rope, which he has not done in years.
El Generico days, man.
Yeah, it's like I was about to say, like, I don't think he's ever used that in WWE at all, has he?
No, and but this is the Triple H era in that regard, because that's one of that's probably a move that typically you wouldn't let people do in that regard.
Well, yeah, people went nuts when he hit Gunther with that. People were like, oh.
Well, there's a couple people online that are like, that was a botch.
They thought it was a botch,
right? And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
No, if you know Sami Zayn's history, that was one of his signature moves back in the day before he went to NXT.
El Generico is still one of the coolest type of characters. He's a generic Mexican wrestler.
I need to check out more of that era.
Yeah, him and Kevin Owens, that ROH era.
But I mean, he hit Gunther with that, and then hit him then followed up with 2 straight Helluva kicks, and so all those 3 in succession. Yeah, I can buy him dropping Gunther with that succession of moves.
That entrance,
I love that he just falls on top of Gunther, completely exhausted for the winning pin.
And then Samantha getting well, I'm gonna get into I'm gonna give my flowers to Samantha after the end of night 2 as well. But Samantha, she is the GOAT. Maybe better. She's on her way to being better than Is she gonna be better than the Fink?
I don't know. I can't say that she's better than Howard Finkel, because Howard Finkel wasn't.
He's the standard.
He's the standard. Right now, I think she's the best ring announcer WWE's had since the Fink. Bar none.
I don't think there's any argument with that. But I'm just like, with her emotion.
When Michael Buffer, of all people, shouts her out on Twitter about how awesome she is, that's all you need to tell, because he is a GOAT ring announcer.
Right. Like, and some people are giving, and also I'm also going to stick up for our girl Samantha as well. Just so you all know, she doesn't want to know she just knows that there's a card. Here's how you announce it. She doesn't want to know the results or anything.
To Triple H. She went to Triple H and said, and everybody told them, "Do not tell me the results of the matches. I don't want to know." So that makes her reactions at ringside and when she's announcing the winner genuine, because she does not know who's going to win.
Yeah, and she doesn't. And some and she just that's all she does. And so. And yeah, Samantha shined this weekend. I always liked the way she did, the Chelsea Green, and put her own flair on it. Like she eats it up and she puts over the wrestler in their entrance, and that's very hard to do.
Yeah.
And when you can't wait for them to do the Chelsea Green or Sokoa,
I like how she introduces Imperium, dude, Kaiser.
Yeah, and just Gunta and just and then the Solo Sokoa, just the way she emphasizes stuff, she puts over the wrestler. Amazing. That is just that's a missed art form that she is tapping into. And
Ricochet, do not blow it with that woman, man. It's like you hit the jackpot, dude. Do not blow it. Seriously.
She can play the hell of a flute too. Wale Mania. She was doing.
Yeah, I saw the footage of that. She's really talented, man.
Yeah, she's very talented. She can sing the pipes on. But yeah, that's Sami Zayn. I popped for that because I was.
At first I was like, I was literally like, holy shit, they let Sami beat him. I couldn't believe it.
Because at first we're like, Sami doesn't need the title, but then I'm like, that after that entrance that he did, that one shot, which was really cool. Just shout out to the production crew, which I know Triple H shouted out the head of production now. I forget his name, but that shot from him and his family to Chad Gable to him kicking stuff and getting himself hyped up, and then Kevin Owens meeting him at the entrance, and then just that one shot of him going through. I'm like, the most simplest things are the best things.
I saw people saying they're like, after that, they're like, after that entrance, I think Sammy might win tonight.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I saw people say that on Twitter, because like I love the little. It's like they're really going with the Rocky 3 stuff with Sammy and Chad Gable. You owe me a favor. It's like just like Apollo said to Rocky 3 when he helped him trade for his rematch with Clubber. So it's like,
yeah, when he said that, I was like, is they really about to put this on? Is they really? Because when Chad Gable said that, because that was we all wanted Gable to be in this match, but it's Sammy. Like, he's honestly, Gable's the more guy that we wanted to see, but Sammy deserved this more.
It shows how much Triple H thinks of Sammy. Because think about this. Last year, him and Kevin Owens together ended the Usos' historic tag title reign. They had the longest tag title reign. They passed New Day, had the longest tag team title reign in WWE history. They ended that. 1 year later, he ends the longest Intercontinental Championship reign in WWE history. He's 2 years in a row. He comes out on top and ends the longest winning streaks of both champions back-to-back years. What does that tell you what they think of Sami Zayn?
Well, if you think about it, Sammy and Kevin were kind of the jump start of the golden era when people really started to pay attention to NXT.
Oh, yes.
That was when they were the ones that kickstarted that era.
They helped usher in the amazing, mind-blowing black and gold takeover era of NXT.
Yeah, black and gold era. And I don't know with the eras and stuff, they are really pushing the Triple H Paul Levesque era, and I don't know if it has to do with the Cody trademarking the Renaissance era. So maybe they're like, no, it's. I'm like, are they just trying?
They really were trying to make it clear that the era of Vince McMahon's WWE is over with. This is Triple H's WWE now. Mm-hmm. It's like Vince is gone.
Yeah.
We're in a whole new world, boys and girls.
Yeah.
And we cannot be happier about that. Because amen that Vince is gone.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Shout out that Gunther is. If you have a bad match with Gunther, you need some work.
Yeah, and I'm okay that it's like I know some people may want to hold him to title arm, but I'm okay with it because now he can finally go into a world title scene where he belongs.
And shout out to Sammy for doing it, for saying I forget the Muslim term, but when he when he said it was 666 days, and he said some Muslim term with that on that. So yeah, is it time to play the game? What, Catan? Yes, no, just kidding.
It is.
not Catan. That's a Triple H.
And plus, he got to have that moment with his wife and his son. And it's like so it hits you right here, man.
Yeah.
And all right. Main event, night one.
Dude, shout out to The Rock for doesn't look blown up and
no, man. Rock went over 40 freaking minutes, man, and he killed it.
He was this match was really surprising, mainly because go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you notice, like the first half of that match, 20 minutes, it was slow. It didn't drag, but it was very obvious that we're taking our time here. We're being careful because we don't want to get anybody injured and fuck up night two.
Right.
But then after the 20-minute mark, then it's like they flipped the switch and they went into overdrive, and that's when the match got awesome. Because that first half of the match was kind of like, I get what they were doing. It's like they were playing it safe, but man, Rock held up his end of the bargain, man. First time he's done a match in 11 years, and he looked fantastic.
He looked fantastic.
No, when it went into overdrive, that's when the match got awesome. Like. I loved the character work, especially Rock telling the referee, it's like, no, you count us out, I'm gonna get your ass fired.
Yeah, you're effing fired. And it just, it was definitely a slow burn at the beginning, but that's kind of any Roman match.
I just
right?
think that
So-
this match didn't need to be over 40 minutes though.
That was the thing, because I was watching. I'm like, I looked at my watch. I don't have a watch.
45 minutes.
I was like, are they really going to do this long of a match? Geez, they're going to blow up The Rock. But
Yeah,
shout
they
out
took up
to
the
whoever
entire
got The Rock in
final.
shape and everything like that, because even though it was a tag match that you could protect him in, which was probably the right decision as it was. I mean, because the match that he did with Cena either night or the first time or the second time, like he almost hurt a lot of stuff.
He tore one against Cena at one time.
Right.
I think he tore a pec.
Right.
But man, one of my favorite spots was when Seth and Cody were just like running wild, and then they did the stereo pedigrees. Fans, that's when the fans were like, oh,
yeah. And then The Rock took the rock bottom through the table.
Yeah, Cody rock bottomed him through the announce desk. That was a great spot. Props to The Rock for taking that. I loved like near the end, there was a lot of storytelling that was set up for later. Seth saves Cody from a spear from Roman, and Roman spears The Rock by mistake.
That popped on that one.
Yeah.
And then The Rock still can sell that spear.
Oh,
like
The
no
Rock
one
was
else.
so like he'd been shot, and Roman had the oh shit, shit,
crap.
look,
I messed up.
I messed up.
Yeah.
So that will be remembered, guarantee it. But it was a smart move for Rock to pin Cody to get the victory, because it ensured Bloodline rules, like we said should have happened, because there was no way that Rock and Roman were going to lose the match. And number two, it sets up Cody versus Rock 1-on-1 for later this year.
Yep, which we
because Rock, and that's exactly what they did on Raw, because Rock was like, I beat you, I pinned you,
right?
I'll be seeing you.
You beat Roman Reigns, but you didn't beat me.
You didn't beat
kind
me.
of the Batista line. It was like, you've beat everybody except me. Batista told that to Triple H at one time.
So that perfectly sets up a Cody Rock title match later this year, and that
we'll get into that promo, because I got some thoughts on that one.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway, but yeah, this was great last two matches. For that, just the Jimmy and Jay,
perfect ending.
Jimmy with him sitting in the ring, having the same shot that it was a year ago.
Just like a year ago, that was totally by design. It was brilliant, and the looks on Seth and Cody's face are like, oh fuck, what we're gonna do now?
Yeah.
And Michael Cole, as soon as the 3 count hit, saying Cody is screwed, perfect setup going into night 2.
Yeah. And then The Rock still talking shit to Mama Rhodes to her face.
Yep. And also shout out to Mrs. Rhodes for shouting bullshit back at The Rock, man. And it was not bleeped.
Right. So
Mama Rhodes don't take shit from nobody, not even The Rock, baby.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like night 1, yes, it was a little underwhelming, but this was the most hyped we've ever been for a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a Triple H era, as they were saying. Triple H comes out, does welcome to WrestleMania.
There was good matches, but it didn't feel like next level. Night 2, on the other hand, whole different story. Night 2 fucking delivered, and we're gonna get into that here in just a second.
Right. So anything else on night 1 before we do the old school way and I flip it to you?
Night two was solid. It just it felt like it was.
You mean night 1?
Yeah, night 1. A couple of matches, especially the Jimmy versus Jay clunker, kind of kept it from being damn good. It was still good. And there was definitely some great WrestleMania moments, but it was missing that like kind of like a little bit of that epic WrestleMania feel, where night 2 delivered that in spades.
Yeah, and the thing was you just didn't the ladder match. You knew was going to be cool, but you didn't feel the tension. There was no tension.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Jimmy and Jay, you felt the tension. It just didn't do anything.
Yep.
Going into it, so that was the problem. Whereas like the ladder match, you knew it was going to be spotty. The Becky and Rhea was great.
Yep.
Especially when you found out how just sick they both were, like panic attack, and how sick Becky was. I loved how Becky put her book and stuff.
Oh, her entrance was so dope with her book and everything, and her outfit. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah. So, all right, you ready to flip it old school?
Yeah, let's do it old school. All right, night 2. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go quick and dirty here on what happened on night 2. All right, Steph came out to open night 2, which is a big surprise, putting over Triple H era of WWE and saying how excited she was. And then we got to the opening match, which was Drew McIntyre taking on Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. This was a heck of a match. They were throwing haymakers, spamming finishers like it was WWE 2K24, trying to put each other out quick. But my boy Drew got the big victory. He had his moment. Won the title, but he just couldn't help himself, and he had to taunt CM Punk, and he kept poking the bear, and the bear unfortunately poked back. CM Punk retaliated, attacked him, laid him out, and that allowed the perfect opening for Damian Priest to finally cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Came out, hit Drew with the briefcase, put him in the ring, cashed it in, choke slam 1, 2, 3. And he is the new World Heavyweight Champion, stealing Drew McIntyre's moment with an assist from CM Punk. And the shot of him celebrating the ring, going to Drew McIntyre, completely shell-shocked in the ring over what just happened, and then cutting over to CM Punk, smiling, clapping on top of the announce table, enjoying Drew's misery. Absolutely fantastic. Awesome way to start the show. And then after that, we had the Philadelphia Street Fight, the Pride taking on the Last Testament. Cool surprise with Bubba Ray Dudley as a special guest referee. We also had Snoop Dogg on commentary as a guest commentator for this match. This was fun. It was better than I expected. Not like the best match, but still, it was fun, especially thanks to Snoop's commentary and some stuff from Bubba Ray. Pride picked up the victory. Montez frog splashed Karen Cross through a table to pick up the victory. Then we had LA Knight, taking on AJ Styles one-on-one in a grudge match. Good stuff from these guys. LA Knight picking up the big victory and getting a WrestleMania moment. And hearing everyone in that stadium shouting during that match shows you how over he still is. It's awesome. Then we had another really damn good match, triple threat, Logan Paul defending the U.S. title against Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Really cool moment with KO getting ready to go out and Sami Zayn beating him by Gorilla, pumping him up just like he did for him last night. That was a nice moment, telling him to go. It's like, it's your turn, go get him. I loved him using the golf cart. And then when Randy came out, he backed up and gave Randy a ride down the ring. Randy looked like he was scared out of his mind, like, oh, you're going too fast, holy crap. Great stuff. This was fun. Loved that they were basically like handicap matching Logan for the first half, but then Orton had to be Orton and tried to RKO KO out of nowhere, and he blocked it. And it's like, really, dude, you want to start it now? Okay. And then after that, it became a real triple threat. The RKO counter out of the pop-up powerbomb was fucking dope. But as we expected, Logan Paul took advantage of that. He neutralized Orton and then hit a frog splash on KO to retain the title. And then we had Bayley taking on Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. Bayley getting a dope entrance with the Egyptian theme, carried in like she's a goddess with the wings and everything. Really cool. Fans really wanted Bayley to win this match, man. Fans were all behind Bayley in this match. Even busting out the old NXT UK song to try to pump her up. This was a damn good match. Fantastic work from both ladies. And Bayley gets the win and gets her big WrestleMania moment that she absolutely deserves. So that made me really happy. A lot of other people happy. And then we got to the main event. Bloodline rules for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Cody Rhodes once again challenging Roman Reigns in a rematch from last year's WrestleMania. They started out, they took their time, they built things up with both guys trying to take advantage of, the no DQ, no count out steps under Bloodline rules, using some weapons here and there. Lots of trash talking for Roman. And then once Jimmy Uso came out to interfere, that's when this match went into overdrive and it became the overbooked, chaotic match of funness that we we're all hoping to be. And boy, did that deliver. Jey Uso came out, neutralized his brother, spearing off the stage. Solo appeared in a callback to last year. Still couldn't put Cody away. John Cena arrived as the Avengers began to assemble. He ran out, took out Roman, put Solo Sikoa through the announce table to get his payback on Solo for what happened at Crown Jewel last year. Rock comes out. Rock and Cena have a face-off. Rock takes out Cena. Seth comes out dressed up like the Shield music to fuck with Roman. He gets taken out. Rock goes to whip Cody in front of his mom. And then the really big surprise, we're all thinking maybe Stone Cold was going to show up. No, instead, we got the fucking Undertaker. Dong, lights go out. Place goes absolutely batshit. Undertaker pops up in the ring when the lights come on, right behind The Rock, who's looking, thinking that Undertaker's coming from the ramp. Turns around, Undertaker choke slams his ass, takes Rock out of the match, and then we get the amazing finish. Roman gets a hold of the chair that Seth had brought into the ring. Instead of choosing to bash Cody's brains in, he gets his payback on Seth for the Shield betrayal those years later. Then goes tries to finish off Cody. That was his fatal mistake. Cody countered the spear, hit the 3 crossroads, 1, 2, 3, and finally finished the fucking story. He's finally WWE champion like we've been wanting him to be for the last year. And it was awesome. Fans went nuts. And Babyfaces and the Rhodes family all came in the ring to celebrate. Brandy, everybody. So many great moments. We'll go over that in a little bit. But what a great way to close out an amazing, badass, kick-ass night 2 of WrestleMania that I think helped propel this WrestleMania into the upper echelon of WrestleManias.
Just such night 2 was just so. Oh my God! It was just like.
Oh my God! It was like it just was like firing on all cylinders.
I mean,
like,
even the triple threat street fight, other than that one botch, like Snoop Dogg, I did not realize how hilarious he was on commentary.
Snoop Dogg was hilarious on commentary. Between him and Bubba Ray elevated what it could have been a match into a fun match.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about it, I really wanted Final Judgment to go over because
I wanted Final Testament to win as well.
Final Testament, I keep calling Final Judgment. Anyway, Final Testament.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wanted them to go over, but we realized they're not done. They're not done with Final. They're done with that group that I keep mispronouncing. But let's just kind of go from the top of the card because do you want to start with your boy first? That's what I'm.
Yeah, let's start with we got to start with the opener because Seth versus Drew went out there, and like I said, it was like someone was playing 2K24 because they were just spamming their finishers like there was no tomorrow.
I almost was like, are we doing the Sheamus Daniel Bryan like when he just came out with the Claymore because he was hurt from like night 1 and he has a hurt knee. I'm like, and like it took forever for those people to leave and Seth's
like as soon as the bell rings and Drew hits the Claymore and gets like a 2.9, I'm like, oh damn, it's like we're off to the races here. And they were just it was like 2 top prize fighters just throwing haymakers trying to knock each other the fuck out real quick. Yeah. And it worked, even though it was like a 10-minute match. It was awesome. And CM Punk on commentary, I loved, as much as I loved Drew's entrance, which was awesome, I loved CM Punk saying, blasphemy, because they were using Roddy Piper's intro music before they played Drew McIntyre's.
Right.
So I love that. It's like as a person who is Roddy Piper is one of my boys' favorites all time, and say Punk loves him too. I love that, and he had some great digs. I loved when he mocked Punk by going to hit through Drew with the GTS. He's telling the fans about how he's putting them to sleep, putting everyone in the stadium to sleep. It's like he was awesome.
I was surprised at how much he was just like, yes, that's cool. Like he wasn't really bashing Seth.
No, he was more. He trashed McIntyre much more than he did Seth Rollins. So it's like
he's just he's done the whole like Seth was like, well, Seth's been through a lot and he's got a knee injury, he's got a back injury. He's fighting through it. He's a fighting champion. I'm like, I thought you hated Seth, and it's just like, well, he's kind of earned his respect. He's still annoying, but Drew's the thorn in his side.
They may not like each other, but there's respect there.
Right.
Both kayfabe and real life.
Mm-hmm.
But. Oh my God! At first I was so happy. I was like, yes, he wins. He gets his moment. His wife is there at ringside. Oh, also shout out. He during the match goes over to borrows his wife's phone, sends out a tweet about how he's bored at work, and then goes back to the match.
And then he tweets afterwards.
He gets his moment, goes, celebrates with his family, kisses his wife. And then the awesome storytelling kicks in.
Yep.
He looks over to Punk. He's staring at Punk. And I was just like, oh no. And then he gets on top of it and he couldn't help himself.
Nope.
He
The
couldn't
hubris
help
took
himself.
over.
He had to taunt Punk. He had to rub it in his face. It's like he just couldn't help it. And it's the old phrase, don't poke the bear. He kept poking the CM Punk bear, and finally CM Punk had it fucking up. I love that it was when he after it was the crotch chop was like the final straw when he crotch chopped him, and he simply was like, okay, like he had that like okay that's it, and then he oh the fans loved it. The commentators go nuts. I love how Cole's like Punk man, what are you doing, man?
Right.
And then he wailed him with the brace, knocked him down, was kicking him, and then the chef's kiss. He goes over and blows a kiss at McIntyre's wife.
Yep.
As a final fu. And then when Damian Priest's music hit and the fans went nuts, I love how the camera focused in on Punk and Punk had the
he had that little smirk. It was like, oh, it's about to be good. And then but that's the meme now or whatever the spin.
And then he just sits back and watch Damian Priest does a cash in and screw McIntyre out of the title. And the shot of him sitting on top of the announce desk, just mockingly clapping Drew as Drew is left in the ring going, what the fuck just happened?
And then he just sat cross-legged and just stared at him. And Drew looked over him and was like, I hate you.
Oh my God. It just.
And that shot of the Judgment Day, like at the top of the ramp with the titles and stuff like that. I was like, yes, we're not breaking up. Because it's just like, I'm just like, they're just so, like, if they break up, you're going to lose momentum on a lot of those wrestlers.
Yeah. Hopefully the draft will not break the group up. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Right.
But that everything, the match, Drew Punk feud elevated to another level. The cash in finally happens. Priest finally steals the world title with the briefcase. And Drew McIntyre is, I love my boy, but it's like he brought it on himself.
I was thinking about you because I'm like, oh, I was like, oh man, Justin's so happy right now. He's going over to Punk. I can just see it. I'm like, and then when Judgment Day hits it, when his music hits, I'm like, Justin just chucked a something against the wall.
I just went no.
Because there was a tweet that someone sent out was like EO Sky's reign 200 something days.
Because as soon as he started talking Punk and it's like it kept going. I was just like, Punk's gonna attack him, and it's Damian Priest time, isn't it? That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but yeah, that tweet was hilarious because like someone was like all the title reigns that like
and then the icing on the cake. Afterwards, Punk on his Instagram put out the meme tweet of the arrow grave, firing it right back at him with the got you, bitch.
Right.
Awesome.
They just need to feud forever.
This is one of the best opening matches in angles in WrestleMania in a long time.
It's the angle. I've seen some better opening matches, but I've not seen the match on top of the angle.
No, and it furthered so many things. It set the tone for night 2, and everything else was just like
yeah. So
awesome. As much as it hurts me that he lost, he had it and he lost it. It's okay because now he's on a rampage, and my man is he's letting the hate flow. As I messaged out in Discord, it's like he's embracing the dark side. He's letting it, as Emperor Palpatine said, let the hate flow.
And his mic skills keep getting better, even in Raw After Mania. That stuff was awesome from him.
We'll get to that. The promo he cut on Raw was
it was so good. So okay, going back to the Pride, a couple of things. I know we kind of talked about it before, but I want to spend more on, obviously we need to spend more on the end game that was the main event in Bailey and EO, which oh my god. But the Pride, a couple other things. The Bubba thing that I popped for that. Obviously, he's part of my favorite tag team. A smart move in Philly. It's that's just with the Heyman stuff, all that stuff. Great stuff there.
That was a nice surprise.
It didn't feel like forced or anything. Everything felt very work. It sucked for the table, but then But Snoop Dogg kind of played up as like, oh, that's the table you have like a cookout. Oh, that's about right for a cookout. It's gonna break. Like he basically sold that pretty well. The B-Fab and Scarlett getting some good stuff in.
That I liked.
So it was
B-Fab with the Russian leg sweep off the
right.
apron,
B-Fab looked good.
Table. That was like, damn, girl.
Yeah, B-Fab was
yeah, no, she got to shine, man. That was,
yeah. So I want to point that out. Obviously the Montez Ford freaking leapfrog over the turnbuckle outside on AEW. He almost cleared the freaking guardrail.
I was like, oh, there's the Montez Ford. Holy shit, bump.
Yeah. And apparently they like turned there was a viral video of somebody up in the stands that the screen above the ring. It like went to just the random. They took off like the actual action and like on like the end zone, and you just heard people saying, "Turn on the screen, turn on the screen." And then after his spot over that, they turned it back on, and everyone just popped. So that was kind of funny there. And then Karrion Kross did a digital thing. He was just like, everyone deserves what they deserve to get, and he basically sold the fact that Montez Ford got the pin, but not you, Bobby Lashley. You still weren't good enough to get the pin. Like I was like, all right, that digital thing, like that was a solid, because it started off with him and like all of his lashes.
His back. Oh man, it's like, damn, dude.
But I did like that digital promo that he cut. I didn't, obviously, like I said, I wish they did.
Good recovery on the table botch with the table breaking is like they covered that really well.
I held my breath when they set up the second table, because they made sure they said it right.
Yeah.
That stinks. But those things are like basically feathers.
And of course, you had to have Bubba tell him to go get the tables.
Oh yeah, that was great. When he did the 1, 2, 3, and then they all just did this. They knew exactly.
But the was up. I love them doing the was up.
Yeah.
It's a nice tribute to the Dudley Boys.
Yeah.
That was great.
So yeah, obviously that got me, because I'm a big Dudley. Obviously, I'm a big Dudley Boys guy. Okay. Yeah, dude. AJ Styles makes anyone look like $1,000, but LA was really good this match. Match was, but whoever produced this match.
Oh yeah, this felt like a grudge match, because they were it's like, it felt like, yes, it was a match, but it was also a fight, because they were trying to wreck each other.
What we were missing the tension for in each match with Knight, because that's what I'm saying, with the Final Testament and Pride, that was a good, like I told you, that was a good build. Like we knew that they did not like each other. Yeah. Whereas even though the LWO versus Santos and his crew, which I can never, Phantasma, that was a feud, but I didn't buy it as much as I bought the Pride versus Final Testament, and plus there was a lot of, you thought Carlito was going to turn, like you had your mind of where that match was going to go, and it just didn't. Yeah. Whereas every match here, you felt the tension, and this one was definitely there. Because like you said, going into like, really, we're just going to do random LA Knight versus AJ Styles. We wanted LA go for a title.
The build saved this match.
The build saved it. Yeah, it was so good. Like, it just shout out to AJ's new music. I really liked it.
I thought it was fine. I guess I can get used to it.
It didn't get played long enough, because they just started fighting right at the beginning. So
I know, it's like he was halfway down the ramp before LA Knight was like, "Fuck this, I'm coming to get you."
Right. Well, no, AJ just took off sprinting. Like, it was just, but they really sold this match, and everyone was into it.
Yeah,
and
the crowd was hot throughout all the way through the main event, which was great. And it's like, man, just how loud the yeahs were, like, especially when he's like bouncing AJ's head off the yeah. It's like, dude, it's like he's got to. You got to put the U.S. title on him soon, man. It's like you got to give him a title.
Do you think LA needs to switch his finisher, or is you still buy into it?
I still like the BFT. I think it's a cool.
Okay,
I like it.
It's a weird,
some
like,
people are not hot on the BFT as a finisher. I think it's fine.
I just like how he beat AJ the same way he screwed AJ.
Yes.
I did like that little callback.
That was a nice callback. There's See little touches like that is why I love it. And we'll get to the little touches with the main event, because it's
right. But yeah, dude, this match over delivered for a match that was just kind of put together, honestly, because they needed something to do with their 2 stars.
Yeah, and then the triple threat kicked ass. Sammy pumping KO up, saying, "It's your turn, go get him." was awesome. Randy was having fun on that golf cart, but also he's like, it's like, KO, slow down, man.
I don't know if that was planned or because you just didn't know because Randy was like, and he was like, I don't know if that was planned or that was just let's do this.
Randy had the big smile on his face, but also like dude. Like,
yeah, oh no, I was kind of scared because Randy was like trying to hold on and stuff. Yeah. But the way that when the golf cart came out, I'm like, that's set up for someone to ride on the back of it, like the old school Wrestlemania entrances.
No, I liked how they did this match where it's like KO and Orton were united in their hatred of Logan Paul, and they beat the living shit out of each other to start the match. Yep. It was like a handicap match, but then Orton had to be Orton. He had to try to. Sorry, it's what I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself, and I love KO's actually like, really, dude, really, you want to go? Then let's go.
Yeah, and then Randy was like, I mean, only one of us can win,
right? It's like,
and he's like, all right, you ready to do this then? He goes like, okay.
You want to do this now? You want to do this now? Let's go. And then, but the crowd loved it.
I mean, everyone knew it had to happen, and so I was like, I knew it, and I was like, he's probably gonna go for an RKO.
Spots, man. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, and then props to
I Show Speed.
Jesus, that RKO on top of the announce desk didn't fucking break, and he looks like he's dead. It's like, damn, dude. Props to him for taking that.
Yeah, like, but he's a news he's a streamer. He's kind of out. He's a little crazy. But and no one told him. I guess he just someone told him, hey, don't cuss every 3 words that you say out of your mouth to Randy. And then Randy was like, all right, welcome to WWE, kid, and kicked him to hell. Oh my God, he destroyed him.
Oh, I love that Orton hated Logan so much. He went for the punt. It's like he hadn't used the punt in a long time.
No.
Like he only busts out the punt on special occasions. I was like, oh, it's Legend Killer.
Yeah, but I forgot.
I wanted him to hit the punt on Logan Paul so bad. I was like bummed when it's like it didn't happen. But that was great that he was going for it. I was like, that made me mark out. And oh my God, Randy was teasing one hell of an RKO out of nowhere, and goddamn countering the pop-up powerbomb into an RKO, don't fucking delivered. Holy shit, was that awesome?
Yeah, I was figured that was going to be because I remember calling the he's going to go like the RKO out of nowhere was just getting hot with the vines and stuff like that. Yeah. That was right leading into his match with Seth, and I'm like, watch him do he's gonna do the go from the stomp, and he's gonna reverse it into. So this match, I'm like, watch him. The kick up powerbomb was like perfect for his RKO out of nowhere. So
that was the perfect move to do a counter into an RKO offer, right? Because he's up in the air already. Definitely the best RKO out of nowhere since the stomp counter against South all those years ago. It was
I forgot how smooth and different Logan Paul's Frog Splash is. And when he did it, I was like, oh, you do like the sprawl legs, like get up high like Montez Ford. Mm-hmm. I was like, you're just good at you're good at wrestling. It's
amazing how good he is. It's crazy.
And his mic work is just getting better and better and better. And
as much as I'd like to see KO, of course, win. I love KO, but
it was the right choice.
Feed Logan Paul to LA Knight.
Yeah. You knew Logan Paul needed to get this win on WrestleMania. So it's not like Randy and KO really needed another win on WrestleMania, but we said the same thing about Gunther and Sammy and whatever. All right, dude, this Bayley Io Sky match. People didn't think Io Sky was good, this match was awesome.
Oh my God. The fact that Io escaped the Rose Plant not once but twice, and that second escape where she just flipped right out of it.
That kip up, like she reversed it as a kip up. Oh my gosh. And then she popped right up and just just owned it. I was like, I kind of gave me goosebumps when she did that. I was like, oh my God, what a reversal!
Dude, this is like I said, this is why I've loved Io Sky since her NXT days, man. And she got, even though she lost this match, it's like she got to fucking shine, showing how she's one of the best women's wrestlers on the roster. It's like I was like, I really want Bayley to win. I hope when she kicked out of the moonsault, I was like, Bayley's got this down.
Yeah.
Just awesome stuff. it's just like, and the fact that the fans were so behind Bayley winning
So
was
behind
awesome.
Bayley.
They wanted Bayley to have her moment, and she got it, and it was awesome. This is well deserved. With everything she's done for WWE and the women's division all these years, it was nice that she finally got her Mania moment. It's like, and it's going to be very interesting. This is a different type of babyface Bayley than the Hugger days. So it's like it'll be to see where she goes from here, and is her feud with Damage Control over? Well, it's like we'll find out, I guess. Come SmackDown tomorrow night. So,
I mean, right now Bayley is the matriarch of the locker room.
Yeah,
if you think about it, because Charlotte's not there. I mean, Charlotte's there, but she's not wrestling.
And that entrance, man, the entrance with in the winged outfit, just dope.
There's a picture of him of like a very like a cool picture of Triple H hugging Bayley right before she went out, and Bayley was saying that she had to adjust her wings. I was like, well, they were still kind of crooked when she came out, but
yeah, I was like, notice they were a little bit off. So I didn't see that, so that explains why, because Triple H hugged her before she left Gorilla.
Right. So, but still, like, and her like little new spin of the music and stuff like that with the role model kind of stuff back.
Yeah.
So that was cool there, and you can tell, like, even though Rhea is probably like the top female wrestler right now in the company, obviously with rankings and all that, but you saw like the backstage. I sent that on our Discord of like her coming up to Bayley.
Because the build to Becky Rhea was stronger than the build to Io Bayley, but in the end, both women's title matches delivered on this WrestleMania. Both were excellent.
I couldn't tell you which one. I mean, I favor this one, but just because it had more, it just showed how good Io is in the ring.
Yeah,
and we already knew Becky and Rhea could kill it. Whereas this was, I was like, come on, Bayley, Io.
Yeah, no, this one I didn't know if this one could hit that 4 to 5 star level, but it did, and it was awesome to see. So,
and then also a couple other things with this one with the hey Bayley, just like I can eat that up all day. And then the back to the triple threat when people were shouting Gatorade like Waterboy to
that was awesome. Gatorade.
I did like that.
That was awesome.
Yeah. But you ready to get into in-game?
Oh yeah, let's this main event, man.
All right. Oh my God. From his homage, like the full circle from him sledgehammering the chair to him doing the skull mask with Triple H.
Call back to Triple H.
The guy who made the mask, the same guy who did the Bray Wyatt's mask.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I saw that. Well, there was a picture or something. I saw that. So the guy that designed that mask was the same one.
Brandy being there with him was great.
Yeah.
Big pop to Brandy. You could see she definitely appreciated the.
Well, she was surprised when people were popping for her. She just walked out, and then you can tell just her eyes was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah, she tweeted out there. She goes, "I heard you guys, and thank you."
Yeah.
So that meant a lot to her.
Which means Brandy's gonna be involved in stuff going forward.
Maybe we'll see.
Well, no. But she don't have to. But.
The entrances were dope, like the orchestra for Roman.
Yeah. And I mean, just the aura that both wrestlers did.
Yeah.
The match was it only went to that typical Roman match like 0.5 seconds.
Yes.
But I always forget how much of a shit talker Roman is in the ring.
The shit talk was awesome. I love that. I love when they started stealing each other's finishers. I was like, okay, yeah, now we're getting somewhere. And he hit the crossroads, and when we're kicking, he's like, that move sucks. Nobody loses that move. I just wanted to rub it in his face. And he was like, yeah.
Yeah. And then when he's like had Cody over like on the ring, it was like, this is my rule, bitch. And just like something like that.
No, this is my company, you little bitch.
Yeah.
I was like,
my company. Thank you. And then they go outside the ring and hit that table spot, that stiff table spot, and then come in and then
Roman with the perfect heel heat where Cody tries to bring the table into the match. He drive-bys Cody and then puts the table back on the ring. It's like, that's how you piss off the Philly fans.
Yeah. And then once he hit that, like a couple of crossroads, I'm like, where's Jimmy? And honestly, that Jimmy and Jay spot was better than their match.
It was dope.
Also, when people were like, "Oh, Jay Uso,"
they were that was high up, man. they went down into that through.
And
those
it didn't
tables.
look like there was a crash pad.
Yeah, no. I was like, whoa.
Right. But when people were getting on Jay doing like the Jeff Hardy entrance to come make the save, I was like, if you notice, he kind of went a little wide. I think he was checking to make sure where the spot.
I think he was checking to make sure the tables were in place for the spot.
Yeah,
probably.
he just wanted to make sure that that it was there.
Yeah.
And that spot, I was like, all right, well, because it kind of went like we thought. Like Jimmy's gonna come out. Jay took out Jimmy. We just didn't know how they were gonna book it. And Bobby Roode was the one that was one of the producers. He produced both.
Yeah.
He produced both main event matches, by the way.
Oh, yeah, glorious. So
it was glorious. They were both glorious. So
good job, Bobby. What I love about this is what we were expecting. We were like, if it's Bloodline rules, there's only one way Cody's going to be able to have a chance to win this match. It's Avengers Assemble. A bunch of people are going to come in to help him out to fight off the Bloodline interference, and this is exactly what happened. And each one worked and made sense. Jay coming out makes sense. You know, with everything that's happened between him and the Bloodline, Cody befriending him and supporting him after he finally split from the Bloodline. So of course Jay was going to come out to back up Cody. Seth showing up, of course, no surprise. Cena is one we automatically expected because of the whole truck thing. And oh my God, when Cena's music hit, that crowd went.
I was because everyone figured he was going to be there, but you don't know it till it happens. And when it happened, people
we thought it could happen. It's like
Pat McAfee almost spoiled it.
Yeah,
he almost did a Heenan and almost spoiled it because he was like, Cody Rhodes is kind of superhuman, like, and he stopped himself.
Yeah, and oh my God, it's like Cena's incredible. It's like he went down to the ring like the Flash. It's like and just destroyed Roman and Solo. It was awesome. Fans loved it, and perfect storytelling moment. He gets his revenge on Solo, takes Solo out of the match, puts him through the Spanish announce table. And this is why I love the camera work right now.
Their production is amazing.
The camera is focused on Cena, but then when Rock's music's hit, it stays on Cena, but you can see behind him Rock coming out to his music. It's just and the look on Cena's face, like, oh crap.
And then he slowly gets in the ring, being like, "All right, I guess we're doing this."
Do it.
Yep, guess we're doing this.
And the fans chanted "Holy shit" with the Rock Cena show off.
And they did the Hogan Rock face off.
That was a callback. That was a deliberate callback. I loved the storytelling. Solo showing up, the great callback to last year because you're thinking, oh no, not again, no.
Right.
And he kicks out, and Solo gets all pissed. And I love that he was screaming at Roman, finish him, I know.
Yeah, I like that. I know. It's like, what do you think I'm trying to do?
Cracks, man. The cracks.
Oh yeah.
And I loved also Solo's body language when Cody kicked out of the first time, and then when he kicked out of the spike spear combo, and Solo's just like, God, motherfucking damn.
What else am I supposed to on that?
Oh God.
But I did when there's just nothing like when that gong hits. It's just nothing. When that bell hits.
Shout out to the Shield music, dressed up in the Shield tire with the steel chair. Fucking brilliant. The only thing that was wonky was that we didn't see that it was Seth until Roman runs over and Superman punches him immediately before he can even get to the Rock.
I think that was planned, but because a lot of times people are like, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" And you were thinking he was going to come down, but if you see him keep coming down, apparently they said he was like limping down to the ring.
Well, I saw him limping in the post match celebration, so it's like his knee. He definitely tweaked his knee a bit during the McIntyre match, I think. So,
but I was kind of the ones I'm like, did they really get Moxley involved with this? Like,
I know some people were thinking, no way, is it Moxley? It's like some people for a second thought they might. I'm like, no. That was awesome, but then, man, look, we all thought Stone Cold, which made perfect sense, but Undertaker, when that gong went off, I literally went, no fucking way! Oh my god! It's like I felt like a kid again. It was like I was going nuts. That pop from the crowd when the gong went off, it's like they lost their shit, man.
Yeah.
And Rock's facial expression is like what
he saw a ghost. Well, he was talking crap, and he he did the like, oh shit, I haven't seen you. And people were sitting there like, well, it should have been Stone Cold because The Rock. And then like, what does the Undertaker have to do with the Bloodline? And like people showed him, he's like, dude, he's been feuding with the Bloodline for 40 years.
It's like he's been fighting them since him and Yokozuna had their big feud back in the 90s, man.
Right.
Like,
Plus, if you really deep dive into it, he's the sheriff. He's the one that makes sure everything. Like he was the one that when Shawn Michaels was had his back situation going to make, and he was the one that was in Gorilla, like making sure that he did business right. Like he was the one in this match. He was making sure business got done correctly.
Yeah, no, I love that when they showed Undertaker, they closed out Undertaker was pissed. He was pissed at The Rock, like, you motherfucker. It's like I'm here to end your bullshit here. And
right.
I love that Rock thinking that he was coming from the ramp, and then they panned back and showed that he's standing right behind him, fans going nuts. And then I love that Rock's then they're like, oh no, he's behind me, isn't he? Ah!
Yeah,
just perfect facial expressions to The Rock, and Rock sold that choke slam like it was big time.
I haven't seen any reports because I knew that they were talking with Stone Cold, but I didn't see any reports on what happened or what fell through or anything like that. So I haven't seen anything of that.
Yo, nature. Jerry Miller, glad you can join us.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. His run was, and he even said about it on the Pat McAfee show. Goes, so y'all saw me run, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Like
the fact that he was able to toss the T-shirt out to someone in the crowd on his way down.
Right.
Yeah, no, yeah. And also, he delivered Undertaker's second ever WrestleMania loss, and this is my yard. It's like, so yeah, it's like it totally makes sense that Undertaker would get involved to help Cody, and it was awesome. It was an awesome moment. Fans lost their shit. It's like, yeah. Now, we need to get into that.
Well, I was waiting for that part. Go to the second one first, real quick, before we get into that. That was something that was thrown out there. I think
that's what people are saying and speculating, and I think that's very highly likely. That, I mean, because Stone Cold is Stone Cold,
right?
Undertaker
plus Stone Cold Rock, right?
Yeah. It could have. I think maybe that was what he was worried about, maybe. And also, Undertaker showing up was mind blowing, but didn't overshadow Cody's moment. So, but yeah, we need to talk about the shit.
That is some of the most subtle 10-year storytelling. That's what really when I started like really thinking about it, I was like goosebumps. I'm like, man, they freaking nailed it. They nailed it.
No, and it's like I shared it on Discord. Someone put it on Twitter. The whole when he was like, yo, Cody, you don't have to fight the blood on their own. Let me help you. I will be your shield. Right. And he was literally his fucking shield.
Yeah.
It's like he sacrificed so much to help Cody put an end to Roman and the Bloodline's stranglehold on the top of WWE. Between the tag match, it's like him saving Cody from the spear and Roman hitting Rock with it instead. It cost him the world title. He's hurt. Coming out, he like he said, he knows Roman Reigns better than anybody, and he also knows that, and it showed, and it was one of those amazing storytelling moments near the end of the match. He knew, just like a lot of people speculate, Roman never got over the betrayal of the Shield.
No,
it's like even though like they eventually became both baby faces again, and at some point, and kind of buried the hatchet. There was a little Shield reunion with Moxley before he left WWE, but it is a callback to 2 years ago at the Royal Rumble match when he came out in the Shield garb with the Shield music, and you saw how Roman's reaction. He got under his skin in his head, and Roman Roman lost the match by disqualification because he lost his cool, because it's like what Seth was doing with the Shield stuff. It drudged up all those bad memories for him, and just couldn't handle it. And once again, did the same thing. He knew that Roman, it would fuck with Roman's head, and that he could not help himself, that he wouldn't resist the opportunity to pay Seth back for the chair shot heel turn on the Shield a decade ago. And it was such a great moment. Roman's got the chair. He looks at Cody. He's like, first he's like, I'm gonna bash his fucking brains in and put him out of his misery. And then he slowly turns over and sees Seth still in the ring, trying to get up. And he looks back again. And it's like he has that look like, no, I'm gonna get you, motherfucker. And he blasts Seth in the back with the chair, and then tosses it aside, and then goes to try to finish Cody. And because of that, because he just like my boy Drew couldn't help himself with his hatred of CM Punk, that he had to get in his face, he had to rub in his face. Roman couldn't help himself. He had Cody. He had a chance to finish Cody off, but he couldn't let what Seth did to him all those years ago go. And he went for an attack Seth instead of Cody, and that was his final fatal mistake that ended his historic title reign. Yeah. And it's just fucking brilliant storytelling down to the end. It's just like, amazing. And the pop, the reaction. Samantha, they showed on the YouTube. She was really emotional, man. Her voice was breaking, announcing that Cody won the match, and fans went nuts. Just and there was a viral videos of Ricky Stark and Dustin Rhodes going nuts up in the skybox where they were in the stadium watching the match, rooting for Cody. And just the whole celebration. Brandy coming in first.
He looked like a proud papa, didn't he?
And just to seeing the emotion on Cody, that it's like, I did it. I fucking did it. It's like, I'm the WWE champion. It's like, and and then all the baby faces come in the ring. I was like, it brought back memories of me when I watched WrestleMania 10 and Brett was crowned as the guy. He got his payback on Yokozuna from losing the title the year before at 9. He beat him in the main event. Big win for him. The Roddy and Lex Luger and all the babyfaces come out and celebrate with him. Looked on my shoulders, and they did the exact thing with Cody. It was beautiful. You could see the joy on everybody's faces, how happy they were for Cody. Especially the ones that are really close to him, like Randy and Sammy and Kevin. Cena in there celebrating. CM Punk comes out, joins in the celebration, gives him a big hug, gives him his props to a big pop. And then, his mom coming in and him the title of the mom.
Brody Jr.
Brody Jr. being in there, getting to celebrate. I love that the fans popped when he handed the title to his mom. Yeah, it's like just the emotion. And then the surprise of him asking Bruce Pritchard and Triple H, all people.
He did get some boost. Surprise. But if Bruce was the one that basically was like, I think because Bruce was always behind Cody the whole time, and he was the one that brought Cody back, and he was the one that through all the scandal and crap.
Yeah, because remember, it's like it was Bruce and Vince that went to visit Cody in his home, that where they had the powwow that sealed him coming back to WWE. So it's like, it's like, and then of course, him and Triple H, going from wrecking the throne to kick off the beginning of AEW to him being WWE champion under Triple H's purview, and the moment they shared with the hug and the emotion, and everything is just absolutely beautiful. Because it's like, and I love that Triple H probably is like, it's like we were feeling dusty out there, man. It's like, it's like,
and Jeremy alluded to this because I didn't even hear that call.
Yeah.
Until I went back and because I went back and watched it, like watched replays and stuff like that. What a freaking call by Michael Cole of finished
Finish
the
the
story. And then him getting emotional when Cody came out and hugged him. It's just like,
Yeah.
I wonder how much, like, it's just like, you
Yeah.
have to think about like just how different the environment is in this company right now.
Cole was amazing. It's like the commentary work was fantastic, but Cole just absolutely crushed it for the main event. And then also, I love professional wrestling. And it's like, and then talking about how he's known Cody since he was a kid and that he believed that he was destined for greatness and how happy he is for him. And then him going out and hugging Cole, shaking Corey and McAfee's hands. And also the moment between him and Seth where he shook Seth's hand, thanking him for everything that he did for him.
And that viral video of like Kevin Owens and Jay like going over, and Seth was like had tears. Seth was like emotional all night. Like even when he
Seth
lost
was in
to
tears
Drew,
on the outside of the ring. It's like
he had to be helped in the ring. He was
because of his knee. They helped him get into the ring, and KO was helping him to the back when Cody's like, no, hey, yo, no, I need to thank you. And you see Seth smile and point, and Cody said, "This is your moment."
Yeah, and then John Cena told because he said on the McAfee show or I forget what show it was. He basically when he hugged Cody or whatever, he goes, "Just so you know, that title, it's gonna get heavier." And I was like, "Ooh, that's right. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It's like and plus when we get to Raw after Mania, when Triple H comes out and goes, this is the new face of the WWE. It's like that title got heavier real quick.
Yep.
But Triple H said in that post game about Cody and everything, he goes, "Do you know how hard it is these days to make a baby face?
Yeah.
And to make a baby face like that everyone still likes."
And Cody's so natural.
It's natural.
It's natural.
And he's so good with the fans, like on social media, and stuff like that. And he's so good in the ring.
It's
and
not
he can
forced.
flip.
It's like he's just a really good dude, and he shows it, and it doesn't feel forced, and that's why the fans have embraced him. It's like this moment wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the "We Want Cody" movement.
Right.
It's like the fans saying, "No, we want Cody to get his chance. We want him to shine. We want to see him win the big one." It's like we want it, and they fucking delivered. Triple H and them with the pivot. I haven't watched the behind the scenes special yet.
Well, they haven't released it. Did they finally release it? It was supposed to release yesterday.
Oh, it hasn't? I'll have to check.
We were like Sean Ross Sapp was like,
it was supposed to release Wednesday night. It was supposed to be out last night.
Which we'll get into Sean Ross Sapp when we get into AEW stuff.
Yes. But this was
our boy was defending AEW and he has a good point.
Everything that main event, the way it started, and then when Jay came out with the first interference spot and it kicked into fucking overdrive, all the way to the celebration at the end. It's one of the most wonderful, exciting, and satisfying WrestleMania main events we've had in a long time. I think the only one that comes close for me is when Becky won 5 years ago and became Becky Two Belts. It's like I would say Drew, but Drew, of course, there was no fans there because of COVID. So it's like it had that feel. It had that feel of like this is the guy. Like when Brett won at WrestleMania 10, when Stone Cold won, when
WrestleMania 30, won, maybe.
Yeah. When WrestleMania 30, when Daniel Bryan and
Kofi
the Yes
was
movement,
never felt like the guy, but that win was so emotional.
Yeah. This was like Daniel Bryan and the Yes movement level of emotion of yes.
Right. Oh no, I was standing up and pacing because I could feel the moment happening.
And the movement that propelled Becky up to the top was the fans. It's like
Nia Jax. Shout out to Nia Jax.
Yeah.
You broke her nose and she became a badass.
Yeah.
On that.
It was a perfect capper to an amazing WrestleMania night. I'll say it right now, and it's like may change it later, but right now I feel WrestleMania 40 is a top 10 WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If night one had been stronger, I would dare say it's a top 5.
Yeah. Weird thing is like if I
It's
recall
definitely.
correctly,
I'd slide it just into the top 10.
I,
It's not near top 5 for me because night 1 wasn't as strong, but night 2 was so fucking good.
night
And
2 is the
Cody
best
winning
WrestleMania card as far as
Yeah.
just overall night.
Yeah.
WrestleMania night 2 of WrestleMania 40 night 2 is the best overall wrestle night
Yeah.
of
Since they
WrestleMania
split,
history.
Yeah.
If it
Since
wasn't
they did the
split,
2-night format, this is the best WrestleMania night of the 2-night format.
if night 1 of 38 and night 2 had a baby, it'd be the best WrestleMania.
Yeah, because night 1 last year was fucking banger. Is like night 2 was the disappointment. They flipped it this year, and so that it's like, and I think that's the better way to go.
Yeah, and no, that's the thing is like you lead in, and it was kind of a crescendo of
Yes.
like night 1, even though Becky and Rhea was really good, but you kind of after that it was like a crescendo,
Mhm.
and then into night 2, and it just kept getting better
Mhm.
from that. So like even though night 1 was just like really like it kind of was like okay, and then night 2 just freaking, but the night 1 ended really well.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
uh,
I felt the emotions. I was thrilled. That's like I was like I don't want. I'm trying not to cry, but I want to because this is so
Yeah.
awesome. It's
yeah,
like
it's so awesome.
it's
And just seeing all the reaction of just little kids just like screaming and crying.
yeah, like the
Um,
wrestling club and so many other people in the audience just losing their minds that Cody won. Watching the I watched a bunch of YouTube reactions of people's reactions to everything that happened in the second half of the main event with all the runs, Cena coming out, Undertaker, people losing their fucking mind. Oh no way! It's like
Right.
it was like Michael Cole said. I love pro. This is why we love pro
yeah,
wrestling.
this is why we love pro wrestling.
Night 2 WrestleMania and that main event and everything that happened to it, with Cody finally getting this moment. This is why we love wrestling.
Also, randomly, as far as WrestleMania goes, shout out to WrestleMania 38. I enjoyed that show. That show was fun.
WrestleMania 38 was quite good.
Sami Zayn's had a weird 3 years, hasn't he? He went from wrestling Johnny Knoxville and putting him over in one of the funnest matches that made no sense on why it was so fun.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, because it's Sami Zayn, too.
Yeah, 2 big title wins in back-to-back years.
Yeah, so
yeah.
shout out to that. Let's see. Yeah, Hell froze over again.
Yeah.
And then hopefully explains. Yeah, we're gonna eventually get that, and I think that's
think
what we're waiting on right now.
Yeah, that special, yeah.
And then Bianca winning recently. I don't know what that's about.
You have to clarify that a little bit.
Yeah, clarify that a little bit, Jeremy.
But-
with them winning.
No,
this, just so good. It was so good.
Big overall, big thumbs up for WrestleMania 40.
All right. We're already at almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
So we're gonna try and get to these things, guys. But thank you so much for sticking with us. And comment and stuff. Tell me what you think. Overall, do you think night 2 was the best single night of WrestleMania history? I can't remember as much. WrestleMania 30 is probably the other one that I would stick out to me as far as the best night overall. Obviously, the Becky 2 belts. The only thing that hindered that WrestleMania to me is because is night 2 of WrestleMania 40 up there? Does it surpass WrestleMania X7? That's all I'll say. Is it there?
No, this didn't surpass X7, but
okay,
this is definitely one of the best WrestleManias we've gotten overall in a long time.
Okay. All right, let's do Raw after Mania.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's what happened on this week's episode of Monday Raw after WrestleMania. Show open with Triple H coming out. Welcome everybody to this new era and introduce the new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, Cody Rhodes, coming out to a big reaction. Once again, Triple H gave Cody his props. And then revealed a little special videos put together to celebrate his journey toward finally becoming WWE champion. Cody got very emotional and hugged Triple H, thanking him. Then I cut a promo about everything and gave Roman props for being a great champion, and that saying, he was once undesirable. Now he's undeniable, and now he is the undisputed WWE champion. And then The Rock came out. Big reaction. Fans were giving him lots of heat. Undertaker chants telling him to shut the F up. It took a while for Rock to finally speak because it kept cutting off, almost like he was Dominic Mysterio. He said that he was there to give Cody's flowers, saying that, he won and he earned it. And that then a weird moment where they showed off each other's belts, and Rock made it pretty clear to Cody that he was going to go away for a while. And when he came back, he was going to be coming for Cody and the WWE Championship. Cody said that he looks forward to that. And then Rock handed something Cody that we didn't see in his hand, telling him he knows what it is, and warned Cody to never try to break his heart again, leaving Cody with a very unhappy look on his face as The Rock left. Then we had our first match. They also announced, of course, that the WWE Draft was going to be happening in a couple weeks. And Ilya Dragunov, the NXT champion, came out making his Raw debut. Took on Shinsuke Nakamura. Not a long match. Ilya defeated him with H-Bomb Torpedo Moscow to pick up the victory. It was announced that Ilya would be in the draft pool from NXT. So it looks like Ilya's on the verge of getting called up. Probably along with Carmelo Hayes too. Then they recapped what happened with Drew McIntyre defeating Seth to the World Championship, and then of course CM Punk attacking him after he taunted too much, which allowed Damien Priest to finally cash in the Money Bank briefcase to take the title from him. Then Judgment Day and him came out to celebrate. Fans actually were happy for Priest, told him you deserved it. He said, "You're damn right I do." And as he celebrated, then R-Truth came into the ring to celebrate with them, acting like he still thinks he's with Judgment Day. Miz tried to talk him out of it. That led to them challenging Judgment Day to a 6-man tag match with a third partner for Miz and Truth, who they could not see. Gee, I wonder who that was. Well, no surprise, it ended up being John Cena, who at first it was like a handicap match with 3-on-2, but then John Cena came out to a big reaction, got the hot tag, cleaned house, which led to him and Truth doing 5-knuckle shuffles, and then all 3 men hit Judgment Day with attitude adjustments to pick up the victory. It was announced there would be a number 1 contenders match. The winner would face Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship in the near future. It would be between Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, Bronson Reed, and Ricochet, which would be the main event. Rhea Ripley chided Dom for trusting Andrade, told him that he needs to go take care of that. And we also saw Liv Morgan coming out of nowhere right afterwards to attack Rhea Ripley, making it clear she's still looking to get her payback on Rhea after what happened last year. Then we had another NXT surprise. NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez coming out, took on Indy Hartwell, which actually made sense because Indy won a ladder match last year that Roxanne was involved with to win the NXT Women's Championship just before she got called up to the main roster. So Roxanne defeated Indy, getting a little bit of revenge and getting a chance to shine in front of the main roster crowd. She's probably going to be in the draft pool potentially as well. We'll see. Sami Zayn came out to cut a promo. Of course, also getting you deserve a chance with the fans, talking about his historic WrestleMania. But then Imperium came out to rebut and potentially attack him. Well, Chad Gable came out to back Sammy up, and they teamed up to take on Imperium in a tag match with the babyfaces emerging victorious. Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, and Ava were shown in the back talking about the upcoming draft. Chelsea Green came up complaining about how she was left off WrestleMania, which was a crime. And Pearce said, "Don't worry, he's got a match for her tonight." Well, she's going to wish she regretted it because Jade Cargill was her opponent, and Jade squashed poor Chelsea Green in like 30 seconds. Sami Zayn went to Chad Gable in the back, thanked him for his help against Imperium tonight, told him that he definitely understands what the favor that he wanted in return for helping prepare him to defeat Gunther at Mania is a title shot. And Zayn said that he's given Gable his shot at the Intercontinental title against him next week on Raw in Montreal. That's going to be a banger. Drew McIntyre came out to cut a promo before the main event, ranting about how his WrestleMania moment was robbed from him, and it was BS that Punk attacked him, and that Damian Priest bondage Undertaker rip stole the title from him. He promised that he was going to get his hands on Damian Priest and get the title back around his waist, and that he was going to get his revenge on CM Punk as well. Before he could finish his rant, Jey Uso's music hit, and we got into our main event. Number one contender match. Winner will get a title shot against Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Lots of action between all four men. Some really cool spots. Right near the end, Drew looked like he was about to win it. He was going to go Claymore Jey Uso. But then all of a sudden, someone grabbed him from behind. He looked down, and lo and behold, it was CM Punk, who was hiding under the ring, messing with Drew McIntyre once again. Punk's distraction allowed Jey to super kick Drew, speared him, and then went up and hit the Superfly Splash to pin Drew and become the number one contender to the World Heavyweight Championship, as CM Punk stood up against the unannounced desk, celebrating that Drew McIntyre's failure once again. So the Drew McIntyre CM Punk continues to heat up, and that's all that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Oh man, what a difference a year makes! Last year's Raw after Mania, thanks to Vince McMahon, was a steaming pile of dog shit. This, while not like a great show, was a good show, and that's all you can ask for.
Moved stuff forward instead of us going, what?
What is this shit?
What is this shit? You just had like a great night, like night one of WrestleMania, and then we were wanting something, and then you gave us nothing.
Yep.
This one, the Rock stuff. What were you? The whole like, I'll hold yours if you hold mine.
Yeah, that was a little. The fans chanting "This is awkward" was kind of appropriate because it was a little weird, but I did like a lot of the Rock was saying. The heat the Rock was getting was off the charts, man.
Yeah.
It took him 10 minutes before he could be able to say a freaking word because all the heat he was getting from the fans.
It wasn't like Cody like finally realized it and like kind of like did like the whole like let me try something, and then just started holding his title up because like the crowd was just not, and then he was like, "You want to chant F you to the Rock?"
Rock to speak.
No,
He was getting the dirty Dom treatment. That's
yeah. and then like, but I did like the whole thing of just like, you deserve your flowers in the city of Philadelphia, which is the biggest part of trailer trash. I'm just like,
yeah.
He set him up.
No, but I liked what was said. It was a great setup of Cody versus Rock later this year, probably at SummerSlam. It depends on, because I know Rock has got to do like one movie or two, kind of like back to back, so he's going to be busy for a few months. So we'll see. But later this year, Rock versus Cody for the title, that's going to be awesome.
After that tag team match and this build and stuff like that, The Rock's got the bug.
Yep.
Not that he needs any more money, but he made $9 million.
And also they add some mystery for us to find out about later with what exactly did Cody what did he give to Cody? What was it? We didn't see.
The Nation of Domination patch. I don't know. It's just like people just come up with random things.
The NXT Ilya Dragunov and Roxanne being on Raw, I was just like, whoa, okay.
Well, when Shinsuke came out, I was like, cool. And then Ilya came out, I was like, oh, this match is about to be just a bunch of just a strong style.
I wish they gave him more time. It was only a couple minutes.
Oh, well, I think that's because The Rock and Cody went over because the crowd kept taking over.
Yeah.
I think they probably would have given him a little bit more. They said they cut. That's why, and also too, I think they probably would have given Chelsea a little bit more offense with the Cora situation. Yeah, because they said that Sean Ross Sapp said that it was cut, and then they still had it, but it was a squash match. I think it worked better as a squash match. Honestly, they should have given more time for Roxanne and Indy, to be honest, because that was criminally short. But hey,
At least it introduced the awesome.
I mean, I thought if they're gonna have Roxanne on the show, and it was hour first was commercial free, they should have had at least 45 minutes to 55, right?
Right.
No, Roxanne, please don't give Roxanne an hour yet. She's not there yet. Okay, she will. She'll be fine. Like
no, but it was cool that they brought her out, got to introduce her to people, fans who may not watch NXT, see what she's about, and also admit her indie the history there. That was really smart.
Mm-hmm.
And also there was the storyline stuff between her and Candice still going on, where Candice is going heel and he's kind of like conflicted. So that played into the match as well.
Oh my God! And here's the crazy part:
Hmm?
You don't bury your future stars.
Right. Yeah, Ilya and Roxanne both won. It's like
Which brings eyeballs to the show.
Yep.
That's getting ready to go on the CW network, and it brings out, and it's like that's not like it, but it's like, oh, and then when they get caught up to the main roster, people be like, oh, they beat blah blah blah, and they don't kill somebody and then put them in some weird like whatever Karrion Kross had at one point.
Oh my God.
Like,
and Archer, man.
Oh, that was funny.
I love it. Like,
yeah,
he just inserts himself so perfectly, and then they both turn and look, and like, and the priest's like, no, we're
not doing this. Tired of it.
This.
He's just like so frustrated. Oh my gosh.
So he's like,
I just brought it back to the Judgment Day, dog.
I brought the titles back to Judgment Day, dog.
Right.
And then of course, our partner, you can't see him. I was like, yeah, they're gonna go.
That was fun.
You know what's weird? I didn't realize this. People said this is the first time R-Truth and Cena have actually teamed up all these years.
Well, I know. They said Cena's consistently wrestled at least one match since 1999.
Yeah.
And I forget what they said in WWE, but so like OVW to now, I think 1999 like OVW is when he was there, because he came in at what, like 03?
I think so. Yeah.
Main roster with the Kurt Angle ruthless aggression thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like right around 03, 04.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
so
it's 2003.
Yeah. So that class in 99 still, that OVW class still crazy.
Exactly.
Childhood hero.
Played off all these years about R-Truth talking about how John Cena is his childhood hero, and his childhood hero shows up to help him and Miz defeat Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And the fact that he got to do 5 knuckle shuffle and attitude adjustment with Cena, perfect.
Yeah. Sammy and Chad, that was great. With that.
Yeah, them for Superior was really good. Makes sense. It's like I knew that it's a Rocky 3 thing. It's like he wants a title shot in return for helping him prepare to beat Gunther. So, but Chad's not winning. It's in Montreal. Sammy's not losing in Montreal.
No. Here's what I think Sammy's going to go with forward, and which I hope they do.
Mm-hmm.
When's the next real big pay-per-view? Not SummerSlam, before SummerSlam, like the next couple months.
Probably that would be. It's hard to say. Backlash
They're going overseas a lot, aren't they?
Yes, Backlash is going to be in France.
Okay.
And then you got King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi, and then Money in the Bank's in Toronto.
When does Sammy and Bronson Reed have a feud?
I want that badly.
Because Bronson Reed was the last guy to defeat Sami Zayn.
And he shot that out on Twitter. I beat him twice.
Yeah.
So I think that's coming. I'm worried. It's like I don't want to see Chad Gable go heel, but this feels like a setup for Gable to snap and turn on Sammy if he doesn't beat him for the title.
Because he's pretty much not doing anything with Otis and Tozawa anymore.
They've really been kind of distancing. They've been distancing him from the rest of Alpha Academy for a while. That's why I'm thinking. This is why I've been like, are they going to turn him heel? It's like it feels like it's coming.
Yeah, which is, I mean, whatever. Gable's so good. It's just like
Sammy's not losing the title in Montreal. So it's like it just feels like it's set up for Gable to snap it and do something bad.
No. All right. Before we get to the Fatal 4-Way, what I think about that. Yeah, I mean, just seeing Roxanne on the show, that was awesome.
I knew it. I was like, I put it right on the Discord. I was like, it's like, Josh, look who's on. She's on Raw.
Yeah. I I want her on the main roster so bad, but then again, she's the queen of NXT now, so
I don't. She may get drafted, but she may be like Braun, where like they still keep her in NXT for a little bit longer before making her full time. Because after what happened on Tuesday, Braun did a whole farewell after the cameras were off the air, making it clear that this was his last like NXT match. He's going to be Raw and SmackDown.
But they did say that there might just because of the War Dogs just being so good together, and this is like I told you, Baron Corbin's good in the ring, guys. I've been saying this.
Bring Corbin with him.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're like they might just bring.
I love the
War
Wolf Dogs. It's like I want to see the Wolf Dogs keep going for a little longer, man. They're awesome together.
Is it the Wolf Dogs, the War Dogs?
Wolf Dogs.
Okay, that's what I say. Like I kept seeing War Dogs. I'm like, no, they're the Wolf Dogs. That makes more sense. So anyway,
yeah, no, the main event was quite good.
Yeah, it was really good. But go into the highlights of Drew McIntyre's. To me that was the best promo I've seen Drew cut in quite some time.
I was like, yes, preach, Drew, preach. You were robbed, my man. You were robbed.
I mean, he was just giving to the heat that he drew from that crowd was not cheap heat. That was good heat.
Yeah, no. And him calling Damien Priest bondage Undertaker was hilarious. Oh, and I also love this line where it's like I'm gonna destroy you, CM Punk. I'm gonna focus on your weak part, which happens to be your whole body. I was like, oh damn.
He's just. It's so.
And once again, the social media game between Punk and Drew is like reaching apotheosis because now CM Punk is firing back.
Him taking the picture under the ring and stuff like that.
Yeah, him putting out on Instagram that he was hiding on the ring and he's like looking right at Cole and McAfee while he was waiting on the ring to fuck Drew over was awesome. Also shout out to Punk hanging out with his kids, Roxanne and Cora Jade this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. I forgot to bring that up. But yeah, no, it was definitely hanging out with his kids.
As Cora said, we're stressing out our dad.
Yeah. I always forget how close Cora and Jay and Roxanne are. I mean,
those two are like this, man.
Yeah.
So,
and
I seen them hanging out with CM Punk.
Yeah, but that Fatal 4-Way was great. And then Jay getting the shot. Do you think they're going to have a bit like when is that match supposed to be?
I'm guessing that's that's going to be on Backlash.
Okay. All right, Jay. You actually have a build now for the World Championship. I don't think you're going to win, but this is your time the ball's in your court.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, and he the only match his single when he became a singles ever since him and Roman had that really good like feud when it first started. Like the cage match and all that stuff where he had that Jeff Hardy like come on kid reach for the brass ring type stuff against Roman. We knew that Jay had that's when that Jay main event Jay Uso stuff came, and ever since then all of his single matches have been pretty damn solid other than his match with his brother, which is weird.
So him versus Damian, that should be a hell of a match. I'm guessing Backlash, unless there's a weird switcheroo going on because we got the draft in a week and a half now. So it's going to be very interesting to see which champions are going to be in which shows after the draft. That's because by at the start of next year, Raw's going to be on Netflix and SmackDown's going to be on USA.
Yep, and so, NXT on CW, but
and then NXT is moving to CW in the fall.
We'll get to AEW on that.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent because some people brought up some good points, but anyway. The Raw after Mania was pretty solid.
No, and I did not see CM Punk popping up out of the ring to fuck Drew over again, and I was like, oh.
Is he officially cleared yet? He's not cleared.
He's got to be. He says that he feels ready, but the doctors are protecting him, Triple H and them are protecting him, saying, yes, you feel good. We're still going to take it easy. We want to make sure you are 100% before you get back in the ring.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing right now between him and Drew, I think he's got to be close to getting cleared because they are this feud. This feud was already awesome, but between what happened on Mania and then this Raw, it's going into another level now. This is getting to epic. It's like I cannot wait for their one-on-one match. The heat for that match is going to be off the fucking charts.
Not the fact that Drew wouldn't have re-signed with WWE, but the fact that I think he's going to end up signing for a little bit more than he was supposed to, just because of this match. You should give a pay cut.
But I think he's going to. They've invested too much in him and Punk to let him go at this point.
No, and people keep bringing up Becky and Seth's contract ending in June. They haven't renewed yet. Where else are they going to go?
You think they're going to go to AEW after what happened this week? I don't think so.
And then I wonder. I don't know. It's a good question.
I don't think they'll have an influence. I think it's going to be about, is Raw going to be the A show on Netflix, or are they still going to treat SmackDown as the A show? Because I think Netflix, they want to make sure it feels like the A show, because this is a historic move, moving the show to Netflix. That's why I think people are speculating, and I would not be surprised if Cody stays on Raw with the title, and they move Damian Priest in the world title to SmackDown in the draft.
Possibly.
It's very possible.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be as controlling as SmackDown was, because they pitched.
Fox and USA had some input back in the day.
Fox, they pitched Fox false hope, basically. What they did.
Yeah.
On that. All right, let's go to AEW.
Yeah, let's get AEW out of the way because of what happened. All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Show opened with Swerve Strickland attacking Samoa Joe from behind, spearing him through a table. Payback for what happened last time. Max came out to check out Joe, wondering if he was going to be able to do his title defense against Dustin Rhodes in the main event later in the show. Then we had our opening match, Adam Copeland taking on Penta El Zero Miedo for the TNT Championship. Great match between these two, but Adam Copeland picked up the victory with the spear. After the match, the lights went out, and that meant only one thing. The House of Black was there. Julia distracted Adam, allowing Brody King to attack him from behind. Going for the beatdown. Well, Nightingale came out to help, attacking Julia, and the heels had to retreat after the babyface got the better of them. Then they hyped up, of course, Young Bucks planning to air footage from backstage All In, showing what happened between Jack Perry and CM Punk. Then we had Eddie Kingston and Marcus Briscoe cutting a promo with Edge about taking on House of Black at the pay-per-view. That led to looks like a mixed tag match coming up in the near future. Then we got to the Young Bucks talking backstage, saying that they were going to show footage from All In last year in London for context. They wrestled FTR at that show for the Tag Team Championship and lost. There's still some wounds from those days they haven't healed, and now they're going to talk about it. Right before the match, there was an incident between two individuals, Scapegoat Jack Perry. The other individual tried to make the whole show about himself and is friends with FTR, and they think that he did it on purpose to distract them because they were so distracted by what happened backstage that they lost focus, and that's why they lost to FTR in the tag match later in the show. And then they showed the footage of what happened between CM Punk and Jack Perry backstage. After the footage is over, they talked about that. So the worst part was that FTR wanted to shake their hands after they defeated the match. And basically it was used to hype up this finals in the tag team title tournament between the two teams. FTR came out to rebut, saying that they're tired of hearing about this and want to move on, and calling out that the Young Bucks stop caring about AEW and now only care about themselves, and that they're going to continue to bring up the fight. Blah 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 blah. More about this later. Not really happy about this whole situation. We'll go into more later. Then we had Will Ospreay coming out to have an interview with Rene Paquette. Cut a promo about his match with Danielson, but also seemed to take some shots at Triple H as well, thinking that his recent comments on Pat McAfee were about him, I guess. Then we had six-man tag. Chris Jericho, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata taking on Shane Taylor Promotions, Anthony Gogo, Lee Moriarty, and Shane Taylor. The heels picked up the victory. And Hook was not happy with Jericho about after match due to some issues that probably led to their loss. Because they were arguing during the match. Then we had Okada squashing local talent. Okada got on the mic and accepted Pac's challenge for a match for the title at Dynasty and says we'll see him there. Pac came out to attack, but of course the Young Bucks came out to help their fellow Elite member. Crowd was loudly chanting CM Punk. Not the best luck. FTR rained down to try to help Pac, but Elite got the better of him and laid all three men out and stood tall. Then the Bullet Club Gold cut a promo on the Acclaim. Switchblade said that he put a big beating Billy Gunn and he wants the Ass Boys to go find someone for him to beat up on Rampage this week. Then we had a moment where Tony Storm was having a champagne toast with Thunder Rosa. Tony ended up throwing the champagne in Thunder Rosa's face to wipe her face paint off. Rosa fought back. Deanna tried to come out, but Thunder Rosa shoved her away, and that made Deanna not so happy. Then we had Anna Jay taking on Mariah May. Mariah May picked up victory. Post-match, Anna Jay kept attacking her, but then Mina Shirakawa came up to assist her and ended up sharing a kiss from Mariah May. Okay? Don't know the history between them, but oh well. Then we had our main event, Samoa Joe, an non-title elimination match against Dustin Rhodes. Good match. Dustin Rhodes, of course, bled like stuck pig. No surprise. Tried to do everything he could for Samoa, we couldn't do it. In the end, when the ref was distracted, Samoa Joe laid out Dustin with his title belt to pick up the victory. Afterwards, he started trying to choke Dustin out with a complete clutch, but Swerve came out to make the save. Hit him with the house call, grabbed the steel chain, and started nailing Samoa Joe with it. Joe was able to escape. Locker room opened to keep the two men apart. Prince Nana grabbed the belt and gave it to Swerve. Swerve held up the World Heavyweight Championship, taunting Samoa Joe, close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite.
All right. Let me try to spin zone this. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, like after that Mania and like them basically being in the background the whole time, might as well get some people talking about you. Now, did it backfire? Absolutely. Absolutely. 1,000% it backfired. But the Magic Man was in his car, and he basically was just like, my thoughts on AEW, and he was playing the song, let's give them something to talk about. Well, we're talking about you, and I guess bad press is good press because it ain't looking good. And then Ospreay goes out there and is like, did you really need to cut that promo?
Let me answer that. No, because you're only people in the guests that he was talking about say he did not mention anybody by name.
Neither did Triple H. We all thought about it.
Yeah,
but
and
some people were telling well, Sean Ross Sapp was just he wants to be good with everybody, so he's always trying to I think that's kind of what his maybe he's not, because I mean he goes against people, but I think he still wants to be able to be welcome back to AEW, WWE, so still be good, like, promote them, because he was kind of just you know trying to say like, well, because people were giving him crap saying like, well, where did Triple H even say this? He goes, the Pat McAfee show is like, what's that? And people are like, he was like, dude, it airs on ESPN. Like, so Triple H went on ESPN. It was basically kind of, because I put it in the Discord. We're like, I put bruv, because that's what I figured he was talking about was Will Ospreay.
That's what everyone assumed he was referred to when he was talking about, like, people not want to come to WWE and work lighter schedules, and that, if that's the case, then yeah, I'm glad you didn't come here, because like you're not ready to go into the grind, then I don't want you here. People thought that was a shot at Ospreay. So, and obviously Ospreay felt the same thing, or I guess maybe both him and Tony. So he went out and put that in the promo. I thought was completely unnecessary. Has nothing to do with the build toward the dream match that he's having with Bryan Danielson at Dynasty. So that it's like,
this was such a reactionary show to nothing.
It was.
Didn't need to.
It was like, oh my God. As soon as they announced that they were going to show the footage, I was like, what the F are you doing?
Why
now? See, the timing seems, and Tony was trying to play it off. He didn't say it was about Tony, what CM Punk said on Ariel Helwani's show, but it sure feels like it was. And there's a lot, and I didn't know this, but there's a lot of conflicting reports. My friend James sent me a thing from PW Torch about how, like, apparently the Bucks were not in favor of doing this, but it was Tony's call to do this, and so they decided to go along with it. Other people are saying that it's like they were completely okay with this. So there's a lot of conflicting reports about if the Bucks and FTR were okay or not okay with this whole situation. And also that people backstage were not thrilled about that they were going to do this. And especially, let me put it this way. When the Bucks and Okada were beating down Pac and FTR in the ring, what were the fans chanting? CM Punk. I think what you were trying to do didn't work. They're chanting the name of someone who doesn't work in your company anymore. Loudly.
As Malcolm told
you go.
I'm
going to get angry. Go.
In the intro, I think it was Jurassic World, when Engine came in and was trying to bring all the dinosaurs over and like make a new park in San Francisco, and because John Hammond was gone, and the guy couldn't get out of his own way, and Malcolm looked at him after everything went to shambles, and he was like, "Not how it feels like to be John Hammond." And then I feel like the Young Bucks just looked at Tony Khan and was like, "Now how it feels like to be Vince McMahon, where when we tell you it's not going to work, it doesn't work." And to listen to other people instead of being your petty self. Like 800,000 for making you can tell like Tony Schiavone was pissed. Renee was weird.
The Tony Schiavone had oh my God. I wish we hadn't done that. He had the look on his face just like he was completely embarrassed.
I mean, like for a month and a half, we're like, all right, AEW, they're progressing and stuff like that. Like, what was this play for? What was it for? What was your end game here?
Right. Look, it's like, yeah, I see you want to get more heat on Bucks versus FTR for the pay-per-view for the vacant tag
titles. They can generate it themselves.
They could have found another way to do it. They were acting like this wasn't about CM Punk. That instead they were using it as an excuse, saying because of what CM Punk did, he just happened to be friends with FTR. They were so distracted, that's why they lost. So they were using it as a fucking excuse, is why they lost at that pay-per-view to FTR, and then alluding to maybe CM Punk did on purpose to fuck with them, which is like is completely unnecessary. And Did anything in that footage contradict what CM Punk said on Airline? Absolutely not. It didn't.
And then and then other people were saying like it was well, that's just HR violation. I'm like, let me point to you,
Look.
Bret Hart punching.
Yeah.
Like people get into, unfortunately, in the wrestling business, people get in squabbles in the back, and that's just part of it. That's not their HR is different than your HR.
Jericho and Goldberg got into a scuffle backstage in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily enough, neither one of them got fired.
No. There's been a bunch of squabbles back in the day. Now, Bret Hart was always on his way out when he punched his boss in the face.
Look, I've said this before. I like CM Punk, but he did not handle that situation correctly.
No.
He should not have did what he did to Perry, despite, understandably, Perry was poking the fucking bear and being an asshole. It's like he documented the whole thing that happened on Collision. Tony Schiavone went to Punk to tell him to shut Jack Perry down because he wasn't listening to Tony or anybody else, or even the fucking doctors were telling him not to do the glass spot. And because Punk was in charge of the show, he had the final say. And Tony was like, "You're the only one who can put a stop to this." And he had to put his foot down, and he was pissed because he shouldn't have had to do that. That should have been fucking Tony Khan's job.
Right.
And then Perry taking shots at Punk about the whole thing during his pre-show match with Hook at All In added more fuel to the fire. And then he kept up, and Punk went up. They're like, "Dude," and then he obviously, we don't know exactly what he said. Punk didn't say exactly what he said. They got into it, and he's must have been acting like a real asshole because finally Punk had enough, and he snapped, and they got into a showing match, and he put him in a fucking headlock and started choking him. Which, no, that's not a good thing. It shouldn't have happened. It's like everybody was wrong. Punk was wrong. Jack Perry was wrong. None of that should have happened if Tony had done any kind of serious boss work and discipline. So he's also at fault. It's a complete mess. And the fact that they drugged it up again just to use it as an angle, it wasn't worth it, because now it makes it look like they're being Tony and them are being reactionary to WWE. WWE had an amazing weekend, a great WrestleMania, made tons of money, set all kinds of records. They're riding high with everything.
You're riding their coattails. It looks like
they're trying to do their best to try to get attention. Hey, no, it's like.
Yeah, and Jeremy was saying AEW copyrighting people because it didn't go over the way they thought it was going to be, so they're just posting it everywhere.
Yeah, no, and also I found this out later. People saying it. The clip of that segment that they put up on YouTube edited out the security footage of what happened between Perry and CM Punk, was completely edited out, and they were copywriting striking everyone on Twitter and everyone else on social media who were trying to share the footage.
That was Ono, by the way, who had the shock face. After the fight, that was Ono. I forget his first name. The wrestler, last name is Ono. Do you remember that, Justin? What his name was? What his first name was?
No.
He was an RH. He was an RH guy. Anyway.
This had bad day written over it, and it didn't help anything. It just makes them look bad, makes them look petty. And the worst part about this is that from Revolution for the first couple of Dynamites were really fucking good. The show felt like it was getting back on track, and this train wreck of a show happened.
Yeah,
it completely derails shit.
Well,
it's like, there's some good stuff on the show. There's good matches. There's some good angle advancement of certain things, like the Swerve Samoa Joe feud is really cooking. But everyone is talking about is the CM Punk Jack Perry footage and how it was used, and also Will Ospreay taking cheap shots back at Triple H,
and also the fact that you had Dustin Rhodes in the main event against the champion to try and coattail off to finish the story.
And that's what we're saying. That Dustin being in the main event, having a touchdown against Samoa Joe, is a very obvious thing that they're trying to play off of what happened with Cody over the weekend. It's like I'm hoping this was just the. All right, we learned our lesson. Let's move on. We just hope. It's like Tony needs to find it really. Oh man, it's like he's not a bad guy, but he's making some really bad decisions.
He's not as good of a booker as you thought he was.
I saw WCW 2000 trending. No, this is not WCW 2000. I watched WCW in the year 2000, and that was one of the ultimate shit shows in wrestling history. That year is one of the most train wreck years of a wrestling company you will ever see. This is nowhere near WCW 2000.
Go look at with the Suffering Succotash or putting dog stuff on Roman Reigns, or like just look at like the final years of Vince McMahon. That's some dog shit shows too.
Was this not a good show? No, it was not a good show.
But this wasn't like the death nail to AEW.
Yeah, this is not the finger poke of doom moment for AEW. Not even close.
No, but
it's not good.
What was it? Was it FT? Remember the revival, like in the shower scenes and shit like that, like in like the Vince McMahon WWE days, like which just like or the Lashley Lana shit, and just bad, just dumb crap booking. So was this it? So when people are like,
and it's like, and they're gonna fuck and treat him like Dominic Mysterio and want to boot him out of the fucking building anyway. It's like he doesn't need any more heat because the fans are pissed off at him because it's like they blame him for CM Punk getting kicked out of AEW.
Yeah, and they just call him a nepo baby and all the other fun stuff. So
yeah, some people were thinking maybe if Kenny was around, maybe it's like. Kenny seems the more level-headed member of the Elite compared to the Bucks, especially with some of the stuff he said after the whole incident with CM Punk between them that happened.
I'm just wondering, like, where was Danielson in all this?
Yeah, where's Bryan Danielson? So and others are like saying like, it's like, Tony, are you really sure you want to do this?
I mean, Eddie Kingston would have been like, no, this thing's why. He doesn't like CM Punk to begin with, but
it's like they should not. It's like you need to move on for it. The ironic thing is what FTR was saying was like, we want to move on for this. It's like, yes, we all do.
Right.
It's old news. What happened was terrible. There's equal blame to go around for what happened. What CM Punk acted wrongly. Jack Perry, a lot of people acted wrongly that contributed to that whole fiasco happening. And it's like it's terrible, but it happened. It's over with. CM Punk is trying to move on. He's gone back to WWE, and it's very clear he's having a wonderful time in WWE right now. Yeah. Especially with this feud with Drew McIntyre, you can tell Punk is having a blast.
Yeah. All I know is I know this Punk's did the EV Petty.
Yeah.
They put that out there, which I don't know. That's just kind of, they're just trying to flip it. What a good look, dude. Tony, come on, dude. Come on. Just come on.
Yeah. It's
on that. That being said, Adam Coleman versus Penta was really good.
Tony, please do better. Please, for the love of God, stop with the making.
We told you to do better before. Then you got better, and then you're trying to do cheap heat.
You took several steps forward, and now you're taking two major steps back with this mess of a show.
Yeah,
and also, Mercedes is alluding to the fact that she's not going to step in the ring until Double or Nothing, which is almost 2 months away. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That being said, Adam Copeland and Penta.
She should be in the ring wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, if she's not 100% cleared yet, I get it. But you should be finding better ways to utilize her if she can't. Either she can't go or you don't want her in the ring. If you don't want her in the ring and she can go and you don't want her in the ring, that's a mistake. She's one of the best damn women's wrestlers on the fucking planet. She should be in the ring wowing the fans over. Because as much as I like Mercedes, her mic skills are one of the weakest parts of her repertoire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
Okay. I like Mercedes a lot. She's amazing in the ring, but she of the four horsewomen, she's the weakest on the mic.
Oh, for sure.
No, people used to bash Charlotte. No, Charlotte is a better talker now than Mercedes is.
Yeah, but Becky's the best.
Becky and Bayley are like, are like the best talkers of the four of them.
Yeah, but yeah, at this point, yeah, sure, of course.
That's what I want to see. I don't want to see the Bucks hold those titles again. They probably will. I won't be surprised if they beat FTR.
She can't get away with it like Roman.
This was so frustrating. Like I've seen only like the AEW like troll shills are trying to defend this. Everybody else with level-headed sense on their shoulders has rightly said this was not a good idea. This was bad.
I got to the point where I was just like,
I'm sorry that
I'm not
no. So much. I apologize.
No. This wasn't as good of a run as you had with that SmackDown. I'll put it that way. You weren't that level. That was the best level I've ever seen you. That was like the best rank you've ever had in your life was after that SmackDown. Which will never air because it was just a Discord, which is why you should join it. Cheap plug. To see Justin rant when the wrestling promotion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's like you can't hide that. It's like
no.
So this was such a frustrating show. It's like I hope next week they rebound because it's like this was really frustrating because they've been the shows that they've been firing on all cylinders lately, and this was like it's like
I just think that Tony's starting to feel the pressure just because he's only gating like 4,000 people, and his ratings are fine. I'm like, this obviously, and so he like swung for the fences, and I was like, nope, this backfired on you.
And also, it's like he's not. It's like people are giving just criticism. We've given just criticism, and like when he does good things, we praise it, and when he's making mistakes like this, we call him out. It's like, this is no tribalism here. There's no bias. It's like, I love pro wrestling. We love pro wrestling here, just like a lot of the people on the internet. We want WWE and AEW to succeed because it's best for everybody. It's best for wrestling, especially the wrestlers. So when you see something like this, you're just like, oh man, what are you? Stop making bad decisions, please, Tony.
They need an MJF back at this point.
They need MJF. They need MJF, Cole, and Kenny Omega back ASAP.
Yeah, at this point. But all right. Well, Tony, you heard our words. I don't know. You watch this show all the time, just as much as Triple H.
Let's end on a good note with NXT.
Yeah, let's end on a good note. With the Golden Goose.
Oops. Hi. Here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode. NXT, the fallout from Stand and Deliver on WrestleMania weekend. Show opened with the new two-time NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez coming out. Definitely mixed reaction from people cheering her, and Perez did a good job making sure she stayed in heel, telling the fans to shove it. Didn't need their approval. Said that while Valkyrie trying to fight with a weak arm was honorable, it was also stupid, and she promised that no one's going to be taking the title from her because next time she uses the title is when she has to give it up to get drafted either to Raw or SmackDown. Lyra came out wanting a rematch tonight with her arm once again in the sling. Roxanne was rolling her eyes. Tatum Paxley showed up. Lyra told her the way she treated her and said that she's ready for tonight. But Paxley ended up attacking Lyra, finally turning on her and walking off. Roxanne said, well, guess I won't be facing her tonight. But then Natalia's music hit, came out and laid down a challenge for Roxanne. Roxanne was like, no, you're not getting a title shot. But Ava came out and said, oh, yes, she is. And that was set up for later tonight. Then we opened with a little explanation that Nathan Frazier and Axiom were getting a rematch against Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, the Wolf Dogs, in the main event tonight to get one more shot to take titles. But if they lose the match, they're going to have to break up as a team permanently. Then we got a segment with Chase U, Andre Chase thanking Kalani Jordan and Fallon Henley for helping Thea Hale at Stand and Deliver pick up the victory. JC Jane and Jasmine Nick showed up, and JC Jane revealed why Chase U went into debt in the first place, and that she revealed that Andre Chase had placed a large bet on Thea Hale defeating Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship last year at the Great American Bash show. And that was the match where which was a submission match, and that Andre Chase threw in the towel to prevent Thea Hale from getting hurt, giving Tiffany the victory. And as a result, he lost a lot of money and put them into the financial problems that they had she ended up bailing them out of. Say that Andre Chase cared more about her than the entire Chase U school. And that if Thea hadn't been such a loser, Chase U wouldn't have been in the trouble it was. Thea didn't take this news very well, especially after Andre Chase admitted that Chase Jane was telling the truth and stormed off. And then we had tag team match, Fallon Henley, Clown Jordan taking on Keanu James, Dizzy Dame as a follow-up for Stand and Deliver. This time the heels picked up the victory, so I guess the feud continues. No Quarter Catch crew got into words with D'Angelo family, leading to a tag match later in the show. Javon Evans made his debut taking on Scripps, and he defeated Scripps, pick up the victory. Definitely see why people are on him. He's got some potential. Ridge Holland was interviewed asking why he attacked Joe Gacy. He said that he doesn't know. He kind of like just lost control for some reason. Gacy popped up and poking fun at Ridge for losing his cool. He didn't take it very well. LW came in and had words with him, which led to Ridge slamming the door on Joaquin Wilde's hand. Then we had the NXT Women's title match, Roxanne Perez defending against Natalya. Good match between these two. Natalya gave her quite a fight, but in the end, Lola Vice came out and cheap shotted Natty, which allowed Roxanne to hit Natty with Pop Rocks, pick up the victory, and remain champion. So that Natty Lola Vice field is heating up. Lola Vice told people that said in the back she's tired of waiting for her chance, so she went out and made it herself, and Natty jumped and attacked her as payback for what happened earlier. Then we had No Quarter Catch crew taking on D'Angelo family, a tag match. D'Angelo family picking up the victory. Open Febby came out, cut a promo about beating Josh Briggs and Dijak and remaining North American champion, saying his dominance at Evil. All of a sudden, Ivar from Monday Night Raw came out, made it clear he wanted to challenge Oba for a match for the X Championship. So, yes, big meaty men slapping meat. Yes, please. Metaphor bragging about how great a host they were. Dijak interrupted to complain about their whole shtick, giving them a warning. So, guess Dijak is going to feud with Metaphor. Then we had Jada Parker of Out the Money taking on Brinley Reese, with Jada picking up the victory. Nice to see Jada back in action. She's really good. Then we had our main event rematch from Stand and Deliver. Axiom and Nathan Frazier taking on the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin for the NXT Tag Team titles. If Axiom and Nathan Frazier lost, they would disband as a team. This match was just about as good as their match at the PLE, but this time the babyface picked up the victory. Braun almost speared Corbin by accident, but that allowed Axiom to knock them into each other, knocking Braun silly, and then they teamed up to hit their moves on Corbin, and Frazier hit a 450 splash to pin Baron Corbin. And Axiom and Nathan Frazier are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. Unfortunately, they didn't get to celebrate long, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Last Testament, Karen Cross and Authors of Pain came out through the crowd and attacked Nathan Frazier and Axiom while they were celebrating their championship victory and laid them out. Then we had the main event interview segment as Trick Williams came out, talking about his big victory over Carmelo Hayes at Stand and Deliver. And he's happy, but now he wants to focus on getting a rematch for the NXT Championship against Ilya Dragunov. Ilya came out, praised Williams for his success and charisma. He's exactly what I think he's, but he says that these two there's no need for these two for the title again, but Trick wasn't going to take no for an answer. And he said, okay, I'll give you another shot, but if you lose, you got to leave NXT. And Trick accepted those terms, and they shook hands. Ilya went to leave, but all of a sudden Carmelo Hayes came out, jumped, attacked Trick, laying him and Dragunov out. Beat up on Trick and told Trick that he's going to face him in a steel cage match next week, and that he's not going to make it to the rematch with Ilya for the NXT title in 2 weeks. So, lots of movement happened on this week's episode of NXT.
Before we get into it, I just saw a tweet from our new champion, Cody Rhodes. He said, "Happy birthday, Natural." So I did not know today, stroke of midnight, is Dustin Rhodes' birthday. So happy birthday to the Natural.
Happy birthday, Natural.
The Natural there. But yeah, pretty solid NXT show.
No, this was a good follow up to Stand and Deliver. I mean, you gotta love that Roxanne opened the show, man.
Yeah, and then with the Natty thing, I know they're playing into that whole Divas thing where she was at the guardrail. Yeah. I've seen that. Y'all sent that to me. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
But and then with the Paxley thing.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that Paxley turn to happen, and it was very interesting. She seemed to be implying that because it was more about that she was the champion and not like her herself. Because she was screaming, "It's not your title anymore. It's not yours anymore." It's like, so it's like it's like it was only a matter of time before she turned on Lyra. So that's Lyra's gonna have to deal with that for a bit, which I'm fine with. It's like, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I was like she's probably gonna lose the title, and it's and Paxley's finally gonna turn on her, and then they're gonna feud. So we'll just see how that's gonna work out.
I'm still indifferent with the Chase U thing. I get it, but I still feel like that
they brought out this because they were bringing up stuff that happened like way last year.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like they're like all this stuff, and then it was a bad bet.
Yeah.
It just feels anticlimactic at that point.
Yeah, it felt that to add more drama to the feud between Thea and JC James.
I'm aware. Like I'm aware, and Thea, as we know, Gift Taylor is that's his girl. I'm sorry, she's gonna lose to Roxanne every time, but I understand what they're just trying to push the Thea situation with that. But I just feel like you were trying to make this as a bigger thing than what it ended up being, which happens a lot in wrestling, where it's like, oh, we've got a plan, but we don't have an end game, and then the end game was, well, Thea's hot right now, so let's just do that.
Yeah. It was nice seeing Jada Parker finally in action again. It's been a while.
That was another North American. I think she's going to be involved with that.
Oh, absolutely. I think she's definitely
Jada screams star.
Yeah.
With that, the Braun Breaker Baron match was still good. So what are they going to do with the OC now?
I don't know. Unless they carry that feud to the main roster, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I could.
Because
like where's Pullman Jr. in this Pillman Jr. in this?
It was you know what? It was weird. Lexus was not on the show this week.
Right.
That was weird because they've been pushing him pretty good lately. So well, you can't. It's like
I still call him Pillman Jr. just because I'm just not used to his new name yet.
But it was cool that. I was like thinking like, because when they said they added the stip that if Nathan Frazier lost, they were going to break up. I was like, these guys are too good of a together as a tag team to break up. I think they're going to win the titles tonight. And it's like, but it was still a really cool moment. Happy for him, because as much as I love, the Wolf Dogs have been awesome. It's like with Braun on the main roster and with the draft coming up, they had to get the titles off of him. He's got to be on the main shows full time now. And it's like his NXT run has been amazing, and he's going to do great things on the main roster. So it was time.
I want to see the Wolf Dogs on the main.
I want to see the Wolf Dogs keep going for a little longer too.
It's just because I'm a bit just like we're all big.
It's revitalized Corbin so good.
I've been saying like, oh, I love that the fact he's in NXT. You're really going to see like Corbin shine. And then they put him with Braun Breaker, and I'm like, okay.
I didn't think it would work, and it worked.
No,
damn
I
good.
told
Did
you.
great.
I've been preaching from the hilltops, mountaintops.
I didn't think it would work.
Mountaintop.
You were right.
I told you it would work.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think it would work, and it did.
No, because Baron's. I've seen Baron not under Vince McMahon say exactly what I say. It's good shit, damn it, type of thing. And he's great in the ring. That's the thing. He is great in the ring. He's always solid. I've yet to see a Baron Corbin match. I'm like, oh, that sucked. Like, no, Baron has always been solid in the ring. Yes, it has, but he's just been. It's just his character work has just been not good, and it's not Baron's fault.
Right.
Because I've seen Baron's personality outside of the ring, and I know it's there. So you put him with the good situation, which is Braun Breaker, and how their dynamic works. It brought Baron more out of his shell, and like their chemistry, they didn't realize what they had until it happened, and it's hard to really split them up at this point, but you have to.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was a cool moment, but Last Testament coming out to attack Nathan Frazier and Axiom when they're celebrating their big win was quite the twist I was not expecting. We'll see if this turns out to be good. Well, I don't know. It's like me and Giff are kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I was kind of the same thing. I was like, because I told you, I was like, you couldn't, or the Final Testament. Yeah, I know. I keep saying Final Judgment. You keep saying Last Testament. Like whatever their name is.
It's the fight. Yeah,
still getting used to it. But whatever their name is.
Yeah.
I was like saying like they have to go over the Pride. Like at this point, they have to do it, even though they haven't officially named the Pride. That's just what we're going to call them until they tell us not to.
Yeah.
But they had to go over the Pride, and they didn't. I'm like, so where do you go from here?
Right. Back
to NXT. Okay.
So. Yeah. But the main event was a good setup for things to come. The very interesting. I get why they're raising the stakes for the rematch between Trick and Ilya, with him saying like, "Well, if you lose, you gotta leave NXT." He's not leaving NXT just yet.
No, Ilya. If anything, Ilya's might gonna be leaving NXT.
No, I think Trick's winning the title.
Oh yeah.
But him, that was a nice surprise where Carmelo comes out of nowhere, attacks them both, and then tells Trick that he'll see that they're going to dance again, but in a steel cage this week. So that's going to be fun.
No, Trick's in-ring work, we've been saying.
Yeah.
Is he's not main event roster ready.
Yeah. No, it's like, give him the NXT title, let him stay in NXT for a little bit longer, and let him marinate.
Let him marinate a little bit. I mean that it's a prime rib. All right, it's a freaking it's a good cut of steak.
Yeah, no, I want to see him back on the main roster. I would not mind to see him and Braun continue the Wolf Dogs on the main roster.
No,
we'll see what happens in the draft. It all depends on the draft.
Right, but yeah, him and like I said, Justin knows that I've been a big fan of Baron, and it hasn't been his character work. It's been all of his in-ring work of how good he is in the ring. And every time I'm
agreed. It's like the bum ass Corbin was like before this was the best work he ever did was when he was broke ass bum Corbin.
But they never like pushed him enough, or when they did, it was just dumb shit to where people couldn't buy into it. Where this you can buy into, and he's working, and it's weird how like you give him like let his character his personality shine through on top of being in to like the next generation of wrestler, and you're so good in the ring. He can work. He's a top 15 worker in the
I'm so excited to see Braun work with so many people in the main roster.
Oh god. Braun is because I remember when he first hit in
just
NXT,
like his Uncle Scott, he is a genetic freak.
Right, because when Vince McMahon totally destroyed the black and gold era and did with that whole bull crap 2.0 crap, but he was like the head of it, and I'm like, well, at least you start off with that guy, because he was, he was the big meaty man.
Yeah, everyone saw the potential for Braun right from the start, and I was like, oh my god, if he continues to improve,
and he's gotten so much better. Even the mic skills,
he's gotten so good, and And yeah, no, he's gotten really good talking. Like this, like the banter between him and Corbin, the chemistry was fantastic.
Oh, like that one thing of like, oh, we finally got merch. Oh, you want to go on the roof? Yeah, let's go on the roof. All
Yeah,
right.
no, I
Like,
love that. It's like, I'll bet you won't get on the roof.
yeah, I just like that chemistry between the two of them is just
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can see that. Like, and then and if they split, like you can have a really good match between the two of them on
Yep.
top of it. So
Wolf
yeah,
dogs. Wolf dogs,
Wolf
baby.
dogs. Yeah. So, anything else on this before we wrap up?
No. Solid episode of NXT.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much. Like and subscribe. I know we're over 3 hours, but that's what happens when WrestleMania weekend happens.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a 3-hour show leading
much
up
to
to it. We
talk
have a
about.
3-hour show after it.
Mhm.
So thank you, Justin. I know it's late at night, but we got through it.
Yeah, we did.
And thank you all so much for hanging out, Jeremy, Gif, Cheryl,
Absolutely,
Tushka, Brennan, your buddy. What's your buddy's name?
James Irish. Thanks, James.
Yep. Thank you all for commenting. Anyone else that's out there that follows along with the show, patreon.com/RuckusEV, Discord, all that fun stuff. Because I am tired, so I can't. My promo skills are just not very good right now. But thank you all so much,
Yeah.
and we will.
See you next week.
Yep. See you all next week. Bye.